back to do what I do.
Do you want to have a debate real quick?
Brother, I don't want to have a debate with nobody whose eyes and nose are not on the same facial plane. My brother, you look sunken. My brother, you look like your nose was put on this morning.
Yeah, but would you like to have
my brother, you look like your eyes is still trying to come out of your head. It looked like you got into a room just to see. It looked like when you turn a corner, your nose turned the corner first.
Stop having a low.
It looked like your lips is still trying to grow with the rest of your nose and face. It looked like you can't. I can't tell whether your eyes are open or not because they so sunk to your head.
Even have a conversation.
It looked like, see, that brother got a cartoon mouth.
Well, that was fun, and this part's going to be fun too, because my bet is you thought you were going to jump online anonymously and be awful to strangers, say horrible things, and then just move on with your life with the people around you day to day having no idea that you feel or think this way. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's not what's going to happen. Bruce pointed out a bunch of things about your face, but he didn't mention that mole that's very distinctive that can be found in other photos, like this photo that came from an Instagram page. Now, the Instagram page that picture comes from is private, so I can't go look at that picture closer. And your profile picture is kind of far away and your head's turned to the side, so I can't really confirm, even though it looks like the same guy, that it is the same guy. The good news is you also have a Threads account that's listed right there, this Threads account, and you have a different profile picture on your Threads account, don't you? And a close look at that profile picture shows me that not only do you have that same mole, but I see the same goddamn chain. Same chain you were wearing on that webcam when you decided to say all those things. So hi, Josh Kelly of Covington, Louisiana. Do the people you see every day know that you feel this way? There's a lot of people of color in Covington, Louisiana, and in Louisiana in general. You should know that Josh would like to have a debate with you. So you could always walk up and have a debate with him. Or maybe if you're on Snapchat, you could debate him there. Or you could message him on Instagram or Threads. I have a funny feeling you're going to have a lot of offers for debates, Josh. And maybe this is a good time to point out that sometimes hard-learned lessons are the only ones that stick.
Good evening. He said hard-learned lessons are the only ones that stick. Can I get an amen for that? Can I get it for y'all hear me?
Why are you talking over me?
What?
Anybody saying anything?
I was. Then she said something, but she didn't. She's not saying anything now.
I said, why are you talking over me?
Right.
She got an echo.
Yeah. You got that Bluetooth speaker. See, I told her that Bluetooth speaker, she got it right next to the microphone. Just put on headphones. Or just do it from your phone. Anyway, welcome to the show, folks. Yeah, we're back. Of course we're back. We didn't go anywhere. Miss Adrian, yes, we are on YouTube. You know where to find us at. And if you don't know where to find us on YouTube, you can go to the AKK Network, and we're there on YouTube, as well as my other channel, Super Nintendo. So, yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody. We got Miss Reporter here early. We got Miss Sham Bam here. And Miss McCall is up here twice. So we'll try to fix that here in a second. I don't know. It might have been because she was up here twice. Either way it goes, we got some interesting news, of course. Let me see if it's this one. Can you talk now?
You on mute?
Yeah, she on mute. No.
There you go.
No, not that one.
Okay.
There she go.
What about that one?
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You can't.
Okay.
I can't. See, now I gotta leave.
Oh boy, that's funny.
So we've been informed that the breaking news this evening. Oh, before we do any breaking news, make sure you guys are sharing this live out so more people can watch it. Like the people that watched it last week, the 2,500, 3,000 people that watched us last week. We need more of that. Yeah, make sure you're sharing this out. Make sure you're liking it. Hold on, we got all kind of little things that we need to be doing right there. Hold on. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. We got some breaking news. So we got word that the mayor has vetoed the ordinance rescinding
Take my other one off, please, because I can't hear nothing.
Rescinding the thing from Gator. So he's vetoed it. Now we're gonna wait till Tuesday or next Tuesday for the next city council meeting to see if there's going to be 5 votes to override that veto. One can hope, but one already knows, if that makes any sense. One can hope, but we already know.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, Mr. Porter, what do you think now?
The date is next Tuesday, Miss Susan. Next Tuesday, they'll be at the city. Well, he'll be. I don't even think he'll be there. To be quite honest with you, I really don't. It all depends. But Mr. Porter, go ahead.
Yeah, well, you got to excuse my voice. I'm under the weather here.
No, don't tell me you got it
Oh,
too.
we're
No,
sorry.
no, man, it's going.
No, listen. No, you ain't got to explain it. You good. You just stay in front of the panel with us.
Mr. Porter, no.
Yeah, you don't have to say nothing.
We all expected this, right? We expected him to veto it, so we're gonna make him wear that like a badge of courage, like a trophy or something, and we'll keep people to remember that he did that because Gator was looking to put money into economic development projects in the Black neighborhoods. And he did not want that money going there. So what he did, he orchestrated a hostile takeover, got them to vote in these egregious contracts, and he's not going to let it go. He's not going to let it go. And then he was able to get the sellouts to help him do this as well. And so we expected it, but that's another nail in his coffin. So.
Yes, indeed. Now, again, we're hanging these albatrosses around his neck. And if we just got into the discussion about vetoes alone, what will we be talking about? We'd be talking about this veto, right? We'd be talking about the gerrymandering veto, right? What was another veto that he threw up there? Can anybody remember? I can't.
No, I can't.
I don't know if he vetoed Malcolm's affordable housing ordinance.
I think he kind of usurped that instead of vetoing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he usurped that. He took that over and made it into something completely different.
Well, he did that same
Hey,
thing with
hey, y'all. Oh, you can rest a little bit, Mr. Porter, but so I
okay.
went ahead and Googled Jacquees Roy. Let's see. It says December 2025, Roy vetoed the 2024 redistricting ordinance approved by the council. And then it says August 2007 veto. Roy vetoed Alexandria Ordinance 231-2007, which related to council appointment of legal counsel. So I'm gonna click the ordinance to see what it. Oh, it won't let me. It's a KLB article. But let me see. I'm trying to go
And
back to the one.
Oh,
I
you
do
know,
want to explain. We've been going through different things, trying to figure out how come a lot of this information has been pulled from the internet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
did you say 2007, Shamir?
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to research something right now.
He wasn't in
Yeah, it
office.
says
Yeah, it
it
was.
says August 2007 veto. So
Yes, he
I'm
was.
looking at the KLB article and I see Roy versus Alexandria. It says on August 29, 2007, Honorable Jacquees M. Roy, Mayor of Alexandria, filed suit against the Alexandria City Council and its members individually who voted for and also voted to override the mayor's veto of Alexandria Ordinance. The ordinance authorizes the city council to appoint or retain legal counsel. The mayor's suit sought to set aside, invalidate, or nullify the ordinance. The suit also sought to enjoin the city council members individually from actions in furtherance of the ordinance. I'm trying to
Hey, can
see.
you share your screen?
I'm not. No, I can't share it. I'm not on stream. I don't have those permissions.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
She's
I
at the
don't have those
bottom.
permissions on here.
So basically, this will end it up in court again.
I can
Listen,
send you the. How about this? I can send you the
can you
link
send me
on
the
my.
link?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me
All
a
right,
second.
I'll put the link up there.
Okay, can I say something? Because Tavares won't
What?
let me say it. I'm trying to talk. Now,
Oops.
what amazes me is, anyway, so so you guys, this is what we want you to see, or get to understand why we're the way we are about Jock Roy. Now, that was back in 2007. He went after the city council because they disagreed with something he wanted to do. So when they needed to get lawyers, he disapproved of them getting lawyers to defend themselves. Y'all, that's pure evil. I don't know what else and how else you can see that. That was pure evil. That you would not let your councilmen have their own representation. And y'all put him back in there again. He's going on 16. If he does another 4 years, this is 20 years. This man has been this vindictive and mean and act like a spoiled child. And y'all allow it. I'm mind boggled by this. This man should have never got another chance to sit in that seat after this crazy stuff right here. But y'all put him right back there again and right back there again. You got him in there again. And that was his first term right there because he came in 2006. This was during his first term. So he came in being a snake. Like Miss Angelique said, he came in being a snake. And he
So
bit y'all over and over again. Obviously, y'all must have got immune to the venom because he hasn't stopped.
all right, so here's the docket number for y'all that want to go dig around back in 2008, which I advise you to do. What's another? Can you throw me another case where he vetoed something?
So that's what I Googled. So it was the 2025 one, and it was this one. So far, that's what I found.
So I'm just trying to figure out when is it enough? When is it enough? When is it enough where you wake up and you want to see some sunshine, innovativeness, people coming in who really want to make the city look good and do the right thing for the city, and not just one side of the city, but the whole city? When do y'all want that? Do y'all really want that? Is that something you really, really, truly want to do come November? Because I think right now, just looking at this, and these are just small cases. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Just go ahead and play it, Tavares, because it's like I'm not even here. Go ahead and play
Well,
it.
it started playing on its own, so it's not my fault. I just tried to cue it up. That's it. Go ahead, man.
Done. I'll wait till you finish playing it.
Alexandria has vetoed the city council's decision to redraw district maps. The move was led by Council President Cynthia Perry. In his veto message obtained through a records request by KALB, Mayor Roy explained his reasoning for the veto of the newly passed council district's map. Mayor Roy wrote that the new ordinance is not about fairness or legitimate legal challenges, but, quote, it reflects the city council's apparent attempt to arrogate unto itself the people's power to elect their own representatives, end quote. Back in April 2024, the council voted 4-3 to redistrict 3 council districts from the 2022 map, which expanded City Council District 4 and shrunk Districts 2 and 3 in the process. Last week, the council voted 4-3 to revert to the 2022 council districts map. Council President Cynthia Perry weighed in on the veto.
We had hired people to redistrict for us, and the RAPC recommended the redistricting, and so we couldn't understand why the change needed to be made simply because of a house that was out of the district. A lot of the information inside of his explanation is, to me, a slap in the face. It's almost like I didn't do this because I wanted to say that I had revealed something or I put it back this way. It wasn't about I. It was about our constituents.
Council President or Vice President and District 2 Councilman Gary Johnson also weighing in on the veto.
If you notice, in the last year, we got things moving pretty smoothly in Alexandria. And I get those all the time from people. You guys finally stop pouting and trying to move the city forward. And here it is, the season so-called to be jolly, and we get this thrown in our face right at Christmas time, which, they had opportune time during those meetings that we had.
For the full veto message and Mayor Roy's previous briefings on the maps that were held this week, head over to KALB.com. And we also...
I think I just got sick of Gary Johnson. I didn't know he did that interview. This, he's up there talking about the season to be jolly, and we get hit with this. What are you talking about, bro? What is he talking about? Can anybody except Mr. Porter tell me what he is talking about?
Well, the idea that you clueless on what's going on, that's amazing. He was clueless on what's going on. He was clueless. Okay? I mean, come on now. He was clueless. And you the man. I'm sorry. That's why that's a whole nother conversation I'm gonna have to have on my other show. That male leadership bull crap. He's clueless, okay? He's clueless as I don't know what, and I don't even know why. Anyway, I don't have to deal with him, but I will talk about him because he's in the idea and the capacity of him being the council person. He's clueless. Anyway, so if you guys, like I said before, if you see all of this that keeps taking place over and over and over again with him, I'm trying to figure out what else. What else? Go ahead, Tavares.
Okay, so when you dig at this redistricting thing, right? What's at the root of redistricting? It's disenfranchisement, right? That's the reason why they use redistricting the way they do, is because they're trying to disenfranchise a certain group of people. They're trying to remove their voting power, or trying to quell them, quench them, and quiet them, right? So instead of us trying to guess what he did it for, let's let him tell himself, right? Because that's what he likes to do. He likes to tell himself. So let's give him the space. Oh, there's an inconvenience. No audio. No audio. None at all. That's what's been
that they're not there to hear other.
Just tell us your reasoning behind that veto.
Sure. I appreciate, first of all, that you're covering this. I think it's.
So let me set the stage for you. So Jock and Stephen Maxwell are having a private meeting with just Jock and Stephen Maxwell. Jock did not want to face, as you can see, he didn't want to face KLAB. He didn't want to make that. They had to file. Did you hear what he said in the beginning? They had to file a FOIA request just to get the letter of why he vetoed it. You're talking about somebody that did not want to face the music. So instead of facing the music, he went and got his homeboy, whom he brought back to Alexandria for this election, Stephen Maxwell. And you got to argue with your mammies about that. Because Stephen Maxwell's return was quite weird, but quite obvious. Stephen Maxwell was the only one that worshiped him at KLAB. So
It's an important topic, and I think it's a very misunderstood topic, in part because of how information gets out today. And so I appreciate these opportunities. Look, I'm going to start off with this, and it's a little bit pithy, but it's just something people need to understand. If you don't want to understand truth, you won't. If you want to set yourself up not to look for facts, you won't find them. So if all you want to look at is a box that says a little headline and then comment on it, you're not going to get there. But more and more we see posts of, can't someone just break it down and tell us? Well, we can. And there are hearings that do that. There were a total of 4 public hearings on the issue of this redistricting plan. I then held 2 days because of the 4 hearings, lack of actual evidence, all opinions, no facts. The facts.
Wait a minute.
yeah, no,
That's
I
a
mean,
lie.
That's what he said.
That's a lie. Mr. Porter came up there and explained it. So wait a minute, that was. Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, it's easy to call somebody a liar when nobody's in the room. I don't know, y'all.
Actual parts, which were limited, had to do with, for example, Matt Johns with RAPC coming in and explaining the maps. But what gets lost is what he explained is both plans comply with the law. So if both plans comply with the law, you have to ask why you need to change one or why one is better than the other. And those are real easy answers. What people need to understand is that Malcolm Laverdane, Tracy Snow, and Gerber Porter filed a lawsuit, actually 2. One in federal court with voting rights claims and one that didn't have it, just a charter claim. They alleged all kinds of violations of law through that. None were true. That's a fact, and it's backed up in a record that's been made. And
How come we never knew this video ever?
Wow. Wow.
It's because we don't follow Stephen Maxwell. That's why we didn't know this existed.
Oh, Mr. Porter, you a liar.
You're a liar.
You a liar, man. Oh. Right.
It's not a fact. It's just his opinion.
I can back it up in any way. But if people choose not to accept the fact, then they can come to whatever opinion they want. But if you want facts, that's one. What
were the lies? See, it's the thing. You're calling people a lie from an empty room. You can't name the lie. And that's what I'm saying about these people in these coordinated events. Y'all going out here eating crawfish with this motherfucker, and he's sitting up there Never mind.
Under oath, Tracy Snow, in a deposition, could not explain the factual basis for filing a lawsuit. Can you believe that? Could not, when given the opportunity and signed a verification, signed I'm backing this suit, couldn't explain it. If you don't have a basis to sue and you do, and it's all about political motive, then here's what that does to the public. It throws a whole lot of just cloudiness, turbidity in the water. Everybody has to try to figure that out while you sit back and hide your hand and you've explained nothing.
Oh, he's very familiar with that, isn't he?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
So, Mr. Porter, stop, Tavares, for a second.
No, don't stress Mr. Porter out.
Okay.
No, I can answer what's your question. I was going to chime in anyway, but
yeah, that's what I wanted you to do. Go ahead and chime in. I wanted you to chime in. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jack Roy is full of malarkey. He knows full well that, first of all, that redistricting that Elizabeth Felter did is not allowed in the charter. It only gives 2 provisions to redistrict after a decennial census and if there is an annexation into the city. That's it. Now, their position was the charter didn't say you could not redistrict whenever you want, but it gives the 2 cases where you must redistrict. And so that's the same thing Project 2025 and the Republicans, the MAGA Republicans, are doing, throughout the United States. Now, his whole justification was hinged on 2 things: protecting the culture of a particular community of interest, and preserving the culture. And they never said what that culture is they're preserving, and he never said what the common interest of that community is compared to if they were in District 3. What are the different interests that District 3 has versus District 4, and why Elizabeth Felter and her home had to be in District 4, because it was a different culture and they had different interests, and they never defined what that culture is and what that interest is. The culture could have been they speak a different language, they have a different religion, things that would suggest that a person who's not of that religion or culture or language could not be fairly represented by somebody else. They just didn't present anything. And the federal guidelines for redistricting, it ensures transparency. Before you even begin to draw the maps, you're supposed to come before the public and let them know, this is what we want to do, this is why, before you even start. Elizabeth Felter had the maps in the lobby before they even introduced the ordinance. On the day that they were introducing the ordinance, the new maps were already drawn and in the lobby. And then when you make a change like that, you're supposed to lay over 30 days. They laid over 2 weeks. They rushed that through. So they violated the charter in many, many ways. So what Jack Roy is saying is nothing but bull crap, is just malarkey. And then at the deposition, he's claiming that Tracy Snow didn't know and didn't explain, that's not true. You know, so unless folks was there at the deposition, I was, then, and look, and Jack Roy wasn't even there. Okay. So like you said, he can say things if he really know that people not going to go back and check it, you know, so he'll throw all that out there like that. But no, he's full of it, y'all. He's trying to sell you 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag is what he's doing.
Now, Brother Greg said his puppet ended up in an underfunded district, so they had to save her and get her out. Is that the moral of that story? I'm not going to say that she's a puppet, but I am going to say she's a muppet. Sounds like, to me, Gerber Porter knows the rules of the charter. That's what it sounds like to me as well. Let's listen.
So you get to just keep going, well, these are my allegations, but I don't have to back them up with facts.
Hey, this man is literally a walking soundboard. I can, like, if man.
Can you read that big comment? Because I'm trying to listen and read it at the same time.
Okay, hold on.
It's huge. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Read it.
I said you.
Oh, so let me get this straight. Mr. Gerber Porter fought against gerrymandering, and he fought against the shutting down the Gator, and he definitely ain't scared of John. Gerber Porter voted against Johnny Downs because he said the money could have been spread throughout the whole city. He tried to get affordable housing that folks can buy in Alexandria. And he said, I hope that you picking up what I'm laying down. It sounds like to me, Gerber Porter knows the rules of the charter. It sounds like one strong candidate. You feel me? You feel me? Plus, we know Jock, listen, and Mr. Porter is here and he don't got to respond with, listen, we know Jock would literally poo-poo himself at the thought of having to go against Mr. Porter. I'm talking about he would poo-poo himself because he knows that Mr. Porter hasn't found all the bodies yet. Mr. Porter definitely knows where to look for them. And Jock can't hide them all. You can't hide them all, Jock.
What do you call? Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. We raising them up from the dead, champ.
Given an opportunity, it couldn't be backed up. What does that do to you at home as a taxpayer? Well, when the city has to defend a frivolous lawsuit, what do you think it does to you as a taxpayer? You pay for it. So
that's any lawsuit, by the way, though. You're not saying that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Not just that frivolous one.
No, because Jock is sued. He sued the council before. You just read it. He sued him over frivolous stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
As an aside, under oath, Ms. Snow was asked about that question. If this is determined to be frivolous, etc., should you have to reimburse the citizens? Her answer was she didn't think so. I disagree. You should. So now on the charter claim.
So he's going to double dip. So what he's going to do is he's going to pay out the legal fees already. Again, he's going to pull this Gator move. And then he's going to get the reimbursement from Tracy Snow for a lawsuit that they know they started. Like, they knew that you were going to get sued for trying to redo the maps. So, like, I mean, these people create the problem and then try to charge you to fix it. That's exactly what they do. They create the issue and then they charge you to fix it. It's like a bad mechanic. You know what? These used car salesman analogies are getting closer and closer to home. Because they try to, they're the ones that tell you to pop your hood, and they'll have like a little thing where like a little tool, and then start knocking on the top of your hood and tell you that you got a problem. Yeah, turn it up, crank it up for me, and then they'll start knocking on it, click, 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 and it's them. It's them with the damn tool knocking on the engine, telling you got an engine problem. That's what John does. That's exactly what he does.
And Stephen, it's not complicated, but the language in the charter, all of these things could be written better. It simply says that for each biennial census, when they occur, so 2020 there would be one, right? 2010 there would be one. So within 1 year before the first primary is run after the census information comes in, the council must at least one time adopt new maps, consider new maps. It's possible they could look at new maps and there's no change. It's more likely that there will have been migration around the city, or movement, if you will, within the city. Maps must reflect a simple principle called one person, one vote. So each district must, as closely as possible within limits, have the same population as another district. Makes sense. That's called the one person, one vote principle. 4 public hearings and 2 days of evidence gathering by me. Not a single person could show one person.
So
Wait a minute. He said, wait. Did he say he did it?
It was, man.
Oh, wait a minute. He said by me.
You said the hearings were done by him. So if the hearings were done by him, it was him that drew those maps.
No, he was talking about the maps. Go back, because he said, hold up, go back. Something don't sound right here.
Maps must reflect a simple principle called one person, one vote. So each district must, as closely as possible within limits, have the same population as another district. Makes sense. That's called the one person, one vote principle. 4 public hearings and 2 days of evidence gathering by me. Not a single person could show a one person, one vote violation. So there's your first big constitutional false claim made, not shown. Number 2, voting rights allegation.
Hold up. So he said he did the investigation.
He said he gathered it. It was his. He gathered the evidence, and if he didn't deem it as not constitutional, guess what? To him, he's going on record and saying that it's not, even if it was, because it was him gathering the evidence.
Wow.
And look, and that's not true either, because the city council followed the rules, and they held 2 public hearings, and nobody came forward to contest the going back to the fair district maps. Nobody. Now, before he vetoed it, he held 2 mayoral briefings. They were not public meetings. They were not public hearings, okay? In his mayoral briefings, the only ones he let talk was Elizabeth Felter and Trey Giss. That was all. So that was not a public hearing. So right there, he's lying. That's a bold-faced lie. The only public hearings that were held on the fair district maps were the 2 that the city council held. And he claimed he compiled information that was information that Elizabeth Felter had people send a email, and he claimed he got all these emails from people in Elizabeth Felter's district. The other thing he lied about is that the one person, one vote, the fair district maps had very close numbers for each precinct. Elizabeth Felter's map, District 3, now has 800 less people than District 4. And District 2, I think, has like 420 less people. So everything is skewed again. And look, some of these elections are being won by less than 20 votes. So when you take 800 out of a particular area, you really skew these elections, because so many of these elections are close. And then what she did was she took the predominantly white district out of precinct, out of District 3. So he what he's saying is not true. It's the fair district maps had complied with the city charter much more closely than Felter's maps did. So I mean, he's up there and he's just telling lie after lie after lie after lie. And he didn't have any facts either. You see, that's the thing. He's claiming that we didn't have facts and we did. He's the one without facts. And nobody got to contest that, because at the mayoral briefing, he decides the agenda, who can speak and what information is presented. But at the two public hearings that were open and anybody could come up there and speak, even Elizabeth Felter didn't speak against the fair district maps.
This is true.
So this is all a ruse.
All right.
Malcolm Laverdane, Tracy Snow, Gerber Porter, and one other plaintiff filed that lawsuit. They dismissed that in federal court. If I saw a voting rights claim, I'd still act on that. But they even admitted, Mr. Laverdane, in the council meeting, there's no voting rights issues. Because in fact, the district that Cynthia Perry had.
Okay, so now we're getting deep into the lie territory. So this is Jock 101, right? He thinks he's winning so good that he just starts saying random shit. And then he has to catch himself from going too far. And now he's off in the weeds now. It ain't been 3 minutes and he's off in the weeds already. So let's see how far he waves out.
As would increase African-American population under the Felter plan and decrease under the Davidson-Porter plan.
Under the Felter plan? Well, how did it become hers?
Oh, okay. So look, here's the thing. You see, it was never about racial demographics. It was about having the same number of people in each district. Because before I embarked on that, District 5 was twice as large as District 1. And a comment he made earlier that there was always a redistricting done, and sometimes they would change the boundaries, sometimes they wouldn't. Well, most of the time they didn't change the boundaries. And that's why District 1, as they kept losing population, ended up being half the number of District 5, because District 5 was growing as they were growing out in those new areas. And they never addressed that. I come along and I'm following the letter of the charter. I'm following it to the nth degree. And we had balanced districts. And it was never about what the demographics were in each district. It was never about that. Because to try and get a demographic type district, we would be running from lower third all the way out to Coliseum Drive, trying to get a district that represented the demographics, 40% white, 60% black. It was truly those maps just didn't make sense. Okay. And so once we looked at that, we recognized, okay, this is not logical, this is not practical, and we started going for, just like the charter says, try to get the same number of people in each district. And that's what we did. And what he's saying is not even part of the approach at all. He's bringing something into there as if it was a claim we made, and we never made that claim, never, about the racial makeup of the district. That's not the case. Look, we already knew that District 1, District 2, District 3 were like 80% black. We knew that. Okay. So he's saying that what Felter didn't reduce the number of blacks. Well, of course it didn't, because they were already 80% black. Okay. So it's what he's saying is hollow. It rings hollow. It's an empty can, and he's banging on it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It was not about losing black voters in districts 1, 2, and 3. Shoot, they're already 80% black. So
I think what we have here is a failure to communicate. Right? What he thinks is every time Mr. Porter is involved and Malcolm is involved, that it has something to do with black folks specifically. As if they can't see, like those black men don't have the ability to see what's going on for other people as well. So the reason he brought race into it is because he brought race into it. I get that a lot in some of these places I be in on Facebook, where the optics that they place the racial optics on something is simply because that's how they're viewing it. Nobody brought that up, as Mr. Porter said. This was about the numbers, purely about the numbers. And the first person to bring up race is the person that meant to use race as a leverage point. So
that's a fact that anyone can go get. And that's an important fact, because place, and then you make the argument that this is about racial movement of people. Those are incongruous concepts. One has to be true. And if it's true that the Felter plan doesn't remove people or water down what we call dilution in that, then that should be important. Now, this is really important and really misleading to the public. Miss Felter and Gary Johnson qualified for their races. The council didn't meet their one-year rule that I outlined. They actually didn't adopt maps until after Gary and Lizzie Felter had qualified. So they ran under the 2011, 1 year from 2010 census map. So no one ever ran under anything and changed it. They ran under the other map. They then can choose to redistrict, do what they want. She chose to make sure that the political maneuvering that after she qualified, two no longer serving council persons, Ms. Davidson and Mr. Porter, think about that. The people rejected them, but on their way, they made sure and took her out of her own district.
Stop it for a minute. You see that? You see that? That's what I said. That's a little boy. That's not a man. That's a boy. That's a boy.
Now,
because that wasn't necessary.
Well, the thing is, this whole thing is nothing but a bunch of lies. So, first of all, wow, we're going to have to make a list and keep up with all these lies. Okay, so first of all, he's saying we didn't meet the 1 year time frame after the census. Now, keep in mind what happened in 2020 when the census was taking place. What was happening?
COVID happened.
The pandemic, right?
Yep, the pandemic.
That's delayed the census. The information didn't come out until very late. And the way things work in Rapides Parish, first, the Rapides Parish, this police juror districts, well, the first thing that's done are the precincts to see if they need to change precincts. Did one precinct lose a lot of people? Did another precinct gain a lot of people? So they have to start with the precincts. Then they do the police juror districts. Then they do the school board districts. Then we do the city council districts. And because COVID, the pandemic, delayed the census and the information came out late and everything got started, that's what pushed us back. You notice he didn't mention that at all. That's what pushed everybody back, okay? And he wants to make it sound like we were derelict in our duty and did the maps late. Now, after we put the maps in, now, by the way, I introduced the redistricting in February. Okay, it didn't get approved until August, the end of August. During all that time, there were a lot of delays, and those delays were by Trey Giss. As a matter of fact, Trey Giss would not allow me to go up to the engineering department to look at the maps to see what their progress was making. And you know, you got to get permission through the mayor and all that stuff. And Jeff Hall wouldn't allow it. And he was using Trey Giss as the contact person. And Trey Giss wouldn't allow me to go up there and look at it. So, and then every time we were going to vote on it, I believe it was 2 times, it got delayed again. Now, Elizabeth Felter qualified in July. This process began in February. In March, in May, the maps was presented to the public. And we should have voted in June, but Trey Giss deferred that. We should have voted in July. He deferred that. We didn't vote until August. And the thing is, had Trey Giss and Jeff Hall not got involved and did that, we would have done it in June, and those maps would have been different when she qualified in July. But here's the other thing. If she didn't know that those maps were changing when she qualified, shame on her. You're applying for a job and you don't know what's happening with that company. You don't know that company is going to shut down and move to Texas or somewhere, but you're applying for an open position. And now when they get ready to move, you're like, well, nobody told me about that. No, that's crazy. And if she really didn't know, shame on her. That means she was going into applying for a job she knew nothing about. The other thing he said that's a bold-faced lie was that we did that going out the door, and that's not true. My first presentation was in February. In May, we presented the maps. We should have voted in June. Trey Giss and the mayor, Jeff Hall, they deferred it again in July, and we voted on it in August. So, yeah, if she's running for a job and she's not paying attention as to what's going on in the city council, that's crazy. And we did not do it going out the door. That started as early as February of that year. So Jack Roy he's just nothing but a bunch of lies is all he's telling up there.
And the evidence shows it was, and it's okay. You can politically do those things, but that's what happened. So when people say they want to know what happened, what I'm telling you is what happened, and it can be proved. What you may hear from someone else that this is unfair is just a statement. It's a conclusion. What would make it unfair is to not allow the incumbent who received, I don't know, a supermajority, upwards of 60%, not be able to run in her own district. She ran in it before. She redid the map to reflect what she, as the now sitting council person, not two people no longer serving, would want. And here's what happens. No constitutional violations, no legal violations. It comes down to what's called a political question. In this case, what we might call realpolitik, which means the down and dirty of politics. And what happens is she says, this is a better district. Turns out it is. It keeps the
Now, hold on, I got a little cut. Let him cut.
Garden District intact, it keeps City Park intact, and it keeps South Alexandria more intact. It splits no precinct. So you had two permissible plans. No one ever ran under the Davidson Porter plan, but Cynthia Perry herself ran under the Felter plan already. So that's the plan that's now locked in, if you want to call it that. But they could change it too. They could change it next year, as long as they get it in time ahead of the election cycle properly. When you hear it in that context, it sounds very different than the story that's been put out there.
You know,
That's an arrogant, cocky little boy. That's what that is. I'm sorry. I'm talking about his character. That is an arrogant little boy. That's what it is. That's what we're dealing with.
Brother Greg says she actually lied while standing in her kitchen and said that the previous council before her waited until after she qualified to make the new maps. She said that. I think I remember her saying that.
And those maps was presented in May. In May of that year, before she qualified.
Qualifications ain't till like damn near July, wasn't
It was the end of July. That's right.
Oh, wow.
He made another lie, and I've forgotten it that quickly. But everything he's talking about is not true. And then he claimed he has facts. Okay, he never presented any facts. Now, here's the thing that they harped on during his two mayoral briefings on the veto was protecting the culture and protecting community of interest, preserving the culture, and he mentioned Garden District.
He sure did.
And that was their big thing, was they were protecting the culture. They never defined what that culture is they were trying to protect. And then they talked about neighborhoods or communities of common interests. And they never said what the interests were of this particular community compared to the other community that they would have been grouped with in a political subdivision. They never define what that culture is and what interests are different that they were trying to protect. So this is there's no facts there, none whatsoever.
Sounds starkly different from the conclusions and opinions that were stated in the council hearings. I don't fault council members for wanting to make districts reflect who they are.
You don't fault them because you're a part of it. You started it. You did it. And I know Jeff was the mayor pro tem, right? I know he was the mayor pro tem while Jock was on doing what his thing, whatever it was. But Jock left Trey Gist in place. That's the reason why Mr. Bush voted for Trey Gist to get out of the city council meetings. Because he didn't belong there. But what did Jeff Hall do? Jeff Hall brought back Trey Gist on his staff. And that's how we got into this entanglement that we're in now, because Jeff Hall was told to bring Trey Gist back and put him on his staff. So there's that. Jock, you got a lot of explaining to do. But don't do too much explaining because you lie.
Or politically friends with or not, that's up to them. What I do fault is the idea of letting the public think it was something it was not. Just admit what you're doing and be done with it. But like the idea that Ms. Felter...
I just said like he does.
Yeah, and what is he talking about? Just admit what you're doing. And admit that we were adhering to the charter.
That's right.
I mean, that's what we were doing. We were adhering to the federal guidelines around redistricting. That's what we were doing. And what he never mentioned, and what Trey Gist never mentioned, is that you got 800 less people in District 3 and 400 plus less people in District 2 with what Elizabeth Felter did. With the maps I had put forward, we were very close to being even, very close. And there's a lot of discrepancy now in those things.
So Mr. Porter, so what you're saying now, those 800 and those 200 people have to vote for her in District 4 now?
Well, yeah. So what she did was to get her back in District 4, she had to upset the apple cart. And the final analysis was District 3 has 800 less people than what they had before. And District 2 have 400 less people than what they had before, under the fair district maps, under the maps that I put there. And you notice he never talked about that, right? He never talked about how the numbers are now skewed. He conveniently omitted that.
Okay, so he made it to the comment section, right? Mind you, there's only 15 comments here. There's only 57 interactions, only 11 shares. This went largely unnoticed. The only people that caught it was Nat, Miss Jeannie Moran, right? Michael Paul, who we know, and Jock Roy. Now, out of all things Jock Roy responded to, he said, "My apologies for any confusion about Gary Johnson being mentioned, but including him was my intent. I wasn't speaking to the qualification of the other candidates." And Ms. He's explaining his explanation. Look at this. He's explaining the explanation. What?
Or any of the other persons in redistricting did something wrong because they want to make sure that the district reflects the continuity, the compactness, and the communities of interest they serve. There's just nothing wrong with that. That's actually a more important goal than simply saying, I'd prefer to do this because maybe somebody I want to run will run. And I'll make sure I'm clear about that.
Oh my God. What did he? Oh no, he did not say that.
Yes, he made up his own. He made up his own reason.
Oh my God.
And now this is a straw man theory, right? So he made up his own imaginary circumstance by which this would be less equitable. Now, mind you, this whole time he's saying that there was nothing wrong with Mr. Porter's new map. He's saying it was fair and equitable and it was permissible. There was nothing wrong with either one of the maps, but that one just wasn't going to work for Lizzie.
But that don't sound, because you can't say they both perfect maps and then turn around and say, but it didn't. You can't do that. You need not to just say it at all. Just not say it at all, because that didn't make any sense what he's saying. And he's telling on himself. He's literally telling on himself. Every time he does something like this, he tells on himself.
He's in the comment section with this fucking 4 or 5 paragraphs, the 3 paragraphs of explanation after the explanation. So this didn't hit the way he thought it hit, and he got these reactions. He got this reaction. He got this reaction. Yeah, he got that reaction, and I guess he didn't like that one. But now he's explaining the explanation.
Just tell us your reasoning behind that veto. Sure.
I appreciate, first of all, the allegations. It comes down to what's called a political question. In this case, ran on about that. the council should not pick the people that they serve with by legislative fiat down on the vote. The people decide the candidates they want and elect them, and they did. And it was Ms. Felter they chose. So it is the height of hypocrisy.
Okay, now, you heard what he just said, right? Isn't that what she did when she moved those people around?
That's exactly
that's exactly what she did when she moved those people around. That's what she did.
I mean, to the literal point of that's what she did. She picked her own.
Yeah, her own constituents.
She picked her own constituents. But this goes back to me telling y'all, Lizzie would not win in any other race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The only place that she can, this is the only, and look at the conditions, and look how far they got to go to get her to win.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That means she's a dud. She's a dud.
Yep.
She's a political puppet.
Hypocrisy to then argue that the council would have the right to take her out because they would rather serve with someone else.
Is that what she, is that? Because he's saying what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't be able to win otherwise.
Well, I hope somebody runs up against her this time, and I hope she don't get that seat back. I pray that she don't get her seat back. I really do.
We'll have to talk to Nat about that. Because every time there's something that happens.
Okay.
My job as mayor is to faithfully execute all law. It's federal, state, council charter, and ordinances, or not city charter and council ordinances. I have to faithfully execute all of it. At the end of the day, Stephen, this was not a difficult question. What's difficult is how do we get past not seeing facts for what they are and only relying on conclusions? So
what?
Y'all got, he is a farce. He's a total farce.
if you don't want to understand the truth, you're never going to find it. But truth starts with facts. We have different truths as conclusions. I get that. You may see the same.
You can't have different truths. There's only one truth.
Well, he does. He does. He does it all the time.
Same set of facts, and I always say the farmer who needs rain sees it differently than the neighborhood in the same rain that doesn't want to be flooded. They may be separated by yards, right? And they may see that and conclude differently. But the fact is, did it rain and how much? Here, there's no evidence of voting rights or other constitutional violations. In fact, the districts are kept more intact under the Felter plan. She didn't do anything wrong. She wants to protect her incumbency. The council member majority.
She wants to protect her incumbency. So she's doing it to serve her.
To serve herself. That's exactly what he just said.
That violates the Voting Rights Act.
That's what he said. He just said that's what she did. He just told on her.
He just told on the both of them.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. He said protect her incumbency.
That's what I heard.
Oh, okay. You still with us, Mr. Porter?
I'm back.
Okay.
He's sipping his tea, some hot tea and honey.
There you go.
Oh, what they call it? A hottie toddy?
A hot toddy.
Hot toddy.
Party wants to not let her be on the council. You tell me which is fair. So this was an easy veto.
If you had to describe her motivation, Ms. Perry's motivation behind this movement, what would you describe it as? Why do you think she did it?
I think Lizzie's motivation is, Lizzie Felter's motivation is easy. She ran and won with a supermajority. She qualified properly. She's been attacked for, I don't know, the better part of 2 years that she did something wrong, which was never true. But her political motivation is to protect her incumbency.
Oh, he said it again.
That's the second time he said that.
He done said it again.
I heard.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So, okay, here we go. We got some comments. Why did he do that at a podium with an audience of one was he trying to dupe people into thinking that he was actually doing a press conference? Hey, y'all, I hate to admit it, but he's right. She didn't do anything wrong. He did. Whoever else drew that new map and threw her name on it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That is.
Someone out there watching your cast may think that that's not correct, but it's the only way it's done every day.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What? We always doing stuff for our own political interest every day. Okay, keep talking, Chip.
I think he forgot he was being recorded. He must have thought that
yeah, he got the
it was
free.
just him.
So far,
I don't know what he thought.
The bars don't lose this.
Don't lose what?
This video.
Oh, I can't know. See, the fact that we are watching it and it's being restreamed on all of our platforms, they can't take they can this is in the internet is forever.
He
Every day,
about to text Stephen
legislature
Maxwell right now.
Yeah,
are working on redistricting, and all of those people work on what they want their district to be. Do you think incumbency protection is part of it? It's actually permitted under the law. Can't be the principal factor. It can be one. Miss Perry's motivation, I can't speak to. She said her motivation was fairness, but I just outlined that it can't have anything to do with that. What's unfair is what occurred. I think Miss Perry can absolutely desire a political outcome.
What did he say? Did he just say something so asinine as fairness not being part of it? Isn't that the whole thing behind Voters' Rights Act? Isn't that a whole thing behind not gerrymandering people out of their position, out of their districts? It's fairness is one of them, ain't it?
Yeah.
Is that one of them?
Yeah, it is.
As part of it, it's actually permitted under the law. Can't be the principal factor. It can be one. Miss Perry's motivation, I can't speak to. She said her motivation was fairness, but I just outlined that it can't have anything to do with that. What's unfair is what occurred. I think Miss Perry can absolutely desire a political outcome because that's what legislators can do. And her political outcome can be inconsistent with Miss Felter's, and it doesn't mean anyone's evil. It does.
What?
Okay, what?
What?
Huh?
What is he even? What are you saying?
Okay, y'all just gerrymandered 800 people out of her district. 800 people out of her district. And what the hell are you saying now?
Doesn't mean anyone's bad. It's not the end of the world. It's one political conclusion goes that way, the other goes that way. They're both permissible things. Stephen, not everything that happens downstairs where there's disagreement is the end of the world. If you watch the news this morning, if you watch national news, you want to see some real fighting, look at the committee hearings that are going on in Congress today where everyone has to be impeached and the other side says this. That's not what happened down there. You had a majority that wanted a desire. In this case, you get an eighth vote. That's what happens. And I have no guilty assignment to anybody's motivations other than that the right outcome.
What's the right outcome? What is the right outcome? What is the right outcome? The right outcome is the one that protects her incumbency. He's telling you what he did.
Yeah, exactly. Like he always does.
For me, was to veto this because it's the right thing to do. I'm not going to try to argue my fairness versus anyone else. I'm just going to tell you, I'm giving you facts and I can back them up.
Which you provided done. Oh, not the white outcome. He said, please don't drop the ball like you did the Eric Banks interview. Listen, I'm sick of y'all.
Yeah, You're right, Ms. Colson. He preferred to control that whole narrative like he does everything else and pretend he hides it behind facts and truth and receipts. He hides it behind the stuff that he does. He talked about himself earlier when he said, throw the stone and hide their hand. He was talking about himself. That's what he was doing. He was talking about himself. Now, Mr. Porter, one thing I want to ask you. I heard him say earlier that Cynthia Porter got voted in on the old maps. He didn't want to say old maps, but he was saying the previous maps.
You said Cynthia Perry.
I mean, I meant to say Cynthia Perry.
Yeah, because and look, that was a fiasco also, because people didn't even know what precincts they were in and who was on their ballot. So that's true. And there was about 50 plus people got the wrong ballots because they did that so quickly. The reason they didn't wait the normal 30 days, which is illegal, okay? He never talked about that either. The fact that Felter pushed hers through in 2 weeks rather than observing 30 days. And they were doing that to try and rush it and get it into the precinct registers for voting. And that was a fiasco. There were about 50 people that were in the wrong districts, voting in the wrong districts.
I want to bring y'all attention to the only people that liked it, that liked this big, long, drawn-out shit that he wrote. The only people that liked it, and I didn't even know they had Facebooks. Rhonda Brown Hunt, Wendy Hendricks Roy, Dustin Matthews, and Thomas DeVee. Go figure.
Let's see. Am I able to do like I did last time and click on something and share a screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay, you're gonna have to remind me what.
Okay, so there's a button down at the middle, right at the bottom. It's in the middle. It said you click on it and it says share screen.
Okay, let's see.
I'll remove mine.
Okay. So that's the icon with I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay.
Why I don't have that option?
Because you're not Mr. Porter.
I respect that.
All right. So this document that I have on the screen.
Can you zoom in a little for us?
What's that?
Can you zoom in a little for us?
Okay.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, so this is the document that I put together for our court case. And it's the responses to the questions that was posed to us by Elizabeth Felter's attorneys, or the city's attorney. This was Gold and Weems, okay? That was the Gold Weems firm. All right. Now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to shrink it and get to some important points. Okay, so the first point I want to make and understand that Jack Roy never addressed these parts. So this is what I'm talking about when he omitted a lot of things. once district maps have been redrawn, adopted, and enacted, if there's a challenge to those maps, you have to go through the court. That never happened. Elizabeth Felter just introduced an ordinance to change it. Okay. Now, so that was a procedural violation of local laws, state laws, and the federal laws. So we had already approved these maps and they were enacted. The lines were changed. The precincts and the registers were changed. Everything was changed. But Jack Roy is claiming because there was never an election under those changed maps that they were invalid. And that's not true. If there was a challenge to what was adopted by the city council, they needed to go through the courts. That didn't happen. Elizabeth Felter just introduced an ordinance and they voted on that. Now,
he said Tracy Snow in the deposition, they asked Tracy Snow questions and she couldn't answer. There was no.
No, that's not true. Tracy Snow answered all the questions. She was a little bit hesitant, but she answered all of their questions. Okay, so now here's what the United States Department of Justice guidelines requires. And this is to ensure transparency in the redistricting process. So before you even start to put a pencil to a paper to draw a map, you must have an open and transparent process. You have meetings among the council members and legal personnel and mapping consultants. And these meetings must be open and accessible to the public. And then there should be a full disclosure of any non-public meetings and discussions about redrawing the maps. Now, in June of 2023, Elizabeth Felter went to the Rapides Area Planning Commission and instructed them to start redrawing the maps. And they did. They should not have done that. Okay. And I'll get to a part of that also. And then there should be full access and participation in the process well in advance of the development of specific proposals for redistricting. So there should have been a meeting like what we did in 2022. There should have been a meeting to discuss what we're trying to accomplish, why, and what's the criteria. That did not happen with Felter's maps. And then there's ample opportunity for the public to have input before you start to develop these maps. You have to give them the opportunity to have input. And then you're supposed to have considerable time for public viewing and input on the proposed maps before they are voted on for adoption. Now, here's the thing. Elizabeth Felter only had 2 weeks. We had several months. And during those several months, anybody could have mounted a challenge to those maps before we voted on them. And that didn't happen. We had no challenges. And we had plenty of challenges in the public hearings for Felter's maps, and it just totally disregarded all of our comments, totally disregarded. And then if there's conflict of interest or personal benefits to council members, that needs to be disclosed. And you see, and Elizabeth Felter didn't disclose that. and there's accountability where the public can have access to any non-public discussions about that. So when Jack Roy summoned Matt Johns to his office to have a meeting with him and Elizabeth Felter about this redistricting, they were supposed to disclose that. They never did. So they violated all of these rules in the Department of Justice guidelines for redistricting process. All of those were violated. Now, in June 2023, Felter went to Rapides Area Planning Commission to initiate the redrawing of these maps. And she does not have the authority to do that. That has to be voted on by the city council. And so she cannot direct the contractor or enter into an intergovernmental agreement with anybody just on her own. And she had several meetings with them to get them to draw the maps the way she wanted them drawn. Nobody else had input. It was just her and Rapides Area Planning Commission. Nobody else had input. And and so this is gerrymandering. An incumbent elected official directed Rapides Area Planning Commission to redraw the district maps for her own personal gain. And the charter states that you redistrict on two occasions, after the 10-year census or in the event of an annexation. So those are the only two times. And their position was, well, the home rule charter doesn't say you can't do it anytime you want. Now, so Felter went to Rapides Area Planning Commission June 2023, had those maps drawn, okay, and then had no contract, had nothing. Then February 2024, Jim Villard, who was president of the city council, issues a letter to Rapides Area Planning Commission for them to draw the maps. Well, they've already been drawn, okay, and to transmit the maps to the city engineer. Now, when it got to the city engineer, that was where, in my case, that was when, what's his name, Trey Giss kept deferring, kept saying they weren't ready. They hadn't converted them from RAPC, and they wouldn't let me go up there to see what was the holdup, what was the problem, what could be so hard. RAPC already did it. All you have to do is transfer it to your data files. That's all you had to do. What was so difficult about that? And they would not let me go up there to talk to a city employee, because the charter strictly prohibits council members from directing any city employee. We are not allowed to do that. So now the question was, how do you pay for this work that Elizabeth Felter had illegally authorized them to do? Well, here's another violation. They tacked it on to the 2022 contract, the contract we had when we did the maps I developed. They went back 2 years to a contract that was completed and closed to say, well, let's charge it to that, because they didn't have a contract for 2023 or 2024. The work was already completed in May of 2022. So that contract was closed. The job was finished. they're gonna, and because they violated all of that, didn't have a valid contract, they're gonna go back and try and reopen a closed contract and charge the 2024 redistricting work to that previous contract. This never should have taken place. And you see how conveniently Jack Roy left all of that out. He left the 30-day period out. He left the challenge to the a court challenge to the maps. He left that out. He left the fact that they had no contract for RAPC to do this. I mean, all of these are violations of the process and violations of the procedure. So, and so here's was some of the things that so the 2024 maps have a deviation of 211, 646, 440 for districts 2, 3, and 4. So District 4 gained 440 people. District 3 lost 646 people. And District 2 gained 211 people. So what that does, now that's under Felter's maps. Now, if you look at the sentence right above that, my maps, District 2 had 42 people, District 3 had 49, and District 4 had minus 86. That's how close we were. And then look at where they went. You went from 42 to 211, from 49 to minus 646, from minus 886 to plus 440. That's extremely skewed for a small town like us, especially when you have elections that are decided by 17 votes. You want as many people in your district as possible, but this was the stuff that was going on. And for the home rule charter states, if you're going to have a major change like this, you need to observe a period of at least 30 days. Well, Felter only observed 14 days. So that's another violation. We've had so many violations of what she did. They say the hell with the charter, the hell with the Department of Justice laws. Let them catch us. They're not going to do anything in our little small town, and they just ran with it. They just violated everything. Now, there was something else in here. I thought I had it in here, but
now, Mr. Porter, real quick. So I don't know if you guys know, but District 3 is the largest voting block. I believe they went after those numbers on purpose. I believe this was done to get those numbers out of District 3. That's what I believe.
Well, look, before I did this, District 5 was the largest voting block.
Okay. Now, at one time it was District 3. I mean, black. I should say, well, African American. Out of 1, 2, and 3, I should say it that way then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as far as, but you see, they didn't touch any of the black precincts. They just removed the white
They
precincts.
just wanted the white. Okay, gotcha.
Out of District 3 to put them back there. Now, by the way, everybody voted for the 2022 maps. Nobody voted against them on the city council. We had no challenges. Nobody came up contesting them like we did for the 2024 maps. Nobody contested.
And you guys keep in mind, each city council person can do a change with their maps, do the redistricting. There's nobody saying nobody could have done it but Mr. Porter and Ms. Davidson. No, any city council person could have done this map.
As a matter of fact,
and they were the only two that stepped up to the plate to do it. They were the only two that out of all those city council people sitting up there, they were the only two that wanted to do this.
That's right. So that's now what I'm showing on the screen now. This is what's in red is Elizabeth Felter's maps. What's in yellow is mine. So the goal was to try and get every district as close to 9,082 people as possible. So for District 4 under my maps, we got District 4 to 8,996. So there was 86 people less than the goal. And for District 3, we got them to 9,131. There were 49 people more than the goal. And for District 2, there was 9,124. There were 42 people more than the goal. And this is the deviation, the percent deviation was 0.0095 for 4, 0.0054 for 3, and 0.0046 for 2. And you see, we were much closer to what the charter required. Now, if you look at the red, Felter's numbers, look at what they are. 9,522 for District 4. So it went from 8,996 to 9,522. That was a gain of 440 persons. And then for District 3, they went from 9,131 to 8,436. That was a drop, a reduction of 646 people. Now, compare Elizabeth Felter's numbers between District 4 and District 3. So if you do the subtraction there, you got almost a 800, you got more than an 800 person difference. District 4 is 800 something people larger than District 3. And that's not what's supposed to happen. Not at all. So that's and see once again, Roy doesn't even talk about that. He doesn't talk about that at all.
Okay. Hold on, Mr. Porter. Keep that up. I'm gonna put this back up, and I'm gonna take a second, and I'm gonna read what he had to say. Oh wait, we can't do it till the end.
The mayoral hearings or briefings that you had earlier this week.
Yes.
You invited all the council members to that?
I do. And I'll reach out and try to. So part of my job is not to beat up on anybody. I'm trying to keep this ship where everybody, even in disagreement, you can keep working together. You can disagree without being disagreeable. I will say that I provided outreach to the members and gave the opportunity, and also provided private outreach, as in, look, if there's something I'm missing about this and you won't know, I'll consider it. Because I want to be clear, Stephen. Normally, you would give the bulk of legislative deference on redistricting to the majority. I wouldn't normally get in this one. But because the public was so misled, and then when you hear the record corrected, And there's just so much information, deposition testimony, everything. Imagine you file a suit, you make a claim in it, and then you admit in your own deposition, I had no basis for the claim. Public doesn't know that. They need to know that. They need to know that's what Ms. Snow said.
And she did not say that. She did not say that. Now look, in the numbers, under Felter, District 4 has 1,086 more people than District 3. 1,086 more people than District 3. Now that's a disparity. That's a disparity. When you're supposed to have as close as possible to the same number of people.
Okay, and that's why I want those numbers up, because we can flip back and forth that way. Because I'm hearing what he's saying about the facts, the facts, but he's not providing any facts. And so I want to put what Mr. Porter has, which is factual, versus what he's up here stating. Because I don't want to call nobody a lie. I want you to realize that they're lying. Because if I tell you that he's lying, you're just going to say, oh, you don't like Jock. Yeah, I might not like Jock, but I'm not going to say that he's lying if he's not lying. He's lying. Clearly he's lying, right? But why is he lying? One.
Oh, but Mr. Lawverdane filed the suit and dismissed the one in federal court that claimed voting rights allegations. I don't think they know that. So when you hear all of that, it becomes clear. And again, I have to say, Miss Perry ran in the Felter plan. That's the only plan that's been used. The Davidson-Porter plan has not been run in.
It's not.
And I don't think people
plan.
always
Stop it for a minute, because that's a lie. That's not her plan. That was the original plan that was already there. She don't own that plan. That's stupid for him to keep saying that, because that was the original. That was the 2010 census, the 2010 census that Perry ran on. That's not Felter's plan. That wasn't Felter's plan. So he need to stop that. She wasn't even in existence when that first census was done. So quit hollering that's her plan. That wasn't her plan. That plan was already in existence.
catch all that. So you were going to ask about outreach. I'll continue to answer your outreach question. I may have cut you off.
Were you disappointed that none of the other council members showed up?
I think disappointed because it continues the perception that 4-3 is based on something it's not.
You're making it about race.
Uh-huh.
You made it about race. I see what you did there, John. You made this about race.
And so in our community, personally, I take race considerations very seriously. And people who work around me, including the council persons, know that. It may happen outside that other people politically want to say things, but I have a record in life that is factual. You can look it up about what I do, what I did as a lawyer, and how I am as a person. So I take that seriously. So it hurts me that they're not there to hear other evidence, because I think it makes the perception continue that it's a 4-3 when it's really a 4-3 about politics. I guess that's my thesis today, Stephen. This is a political exercise that all sides in this, and I don't think there are just two, are entitled to go through. Just like I'm a side in it, I'm entitled to say, only one plan's been run on, only one plan protects an incumbent who won, and only one incumbent had someone try to draw her out of her own district after she qualified. And believe me, I went out, like you might, and talked to the people in the Garden District community about what they knew to have occurred. And they all said, oh, this was done politically, John.
Hold up. Did you hear what he just told on himself, too?
Yes, he said instead of going to the other communities,
Mm-hmm.
he said he just went to the ones in the Garden District.
Yep. He just
I
told
wonder,
on himself.
is that the business community that hired him? That told him to run again?
No, Garden is it? Don't he live in District 4 or is he in District 2?
Oh, we don't know.
No, he lives in District 4.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Y'all, if y'all don't see this, I don't. Maybe it's just us, and it's not that we're blinded by our distaste for his character. Please don't get that. I'm listening to him from a political standpoint, and
he's literally using it the way you're not supposed to. Exactly. It's for the benefit of one person.
The benefit of one person. That's what he basically just said. That's what he just said.
He's saying the thing. He's doing the thing.
Yep.
For sure. Here's something I was told. Here's a conversation I had. Stephen, in my time as mayor, in any terms, I have not had 40 to 50 individual letters written by people to me. I've had many form letters where somebody wants an issue and they all sign the form letter. These are individual letters by people in the Garden District wanting this veto. Ask me how many letters I've received to not do it. What do you think the answer is? Take a guess.
0.
So to be safe, I'm going to say less than 1.
Let's talk race. Now, majority of those people who he quote unquote 50 letters that he got were all from white people. They weren't from it.
We never saw the letters.
Yeah, he never showed us any letters. He never picked one up example and read it when he was doing the explanation in the council. He never done none of that. Okay. You said you got 50 letters. We don't know. Or did you tell 50 people to actually write those letters? Right. Okay.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. You never showed us no letters that you got. Not one letter.
Yeah. Elizabeth Felter brought those emails to
email. Yeah. Because they told them to write it. Just like if you look at how
got together, it was her and a couple of their friends. They started a little email to call it.
Yep.
And they all sent the same damn letter.
Yep. That's what happened.
Okay, so look, I put in. I don't know how to go from my phone to the chat room, but I put in there the email the text message that Elizabeth Felter sent to Cynthia Perry and Gary Johnson in January of 2024.
Yeah, to tell them that
is the motivation for that redistricting.
He said she wanted our house to stay in her district. That's what she said.
So if you don't mind, if y'all could put it up there, because I went back to my text on my phone and I don't know how to put it into.
It says, good morning. Look at, it says, morning. I hope you are staying warm and enjoying our days off. I am wanting to get the ball rolling on getting my house back in District 4. I've gone to the RAPC and looked at some options, and it seems like the best option would be to swap out a precinct in your district, in Gary's district. All the demographics are identical on the changes. I can send you the map options for you to review. We can chat about it when you would like.
Okay. Now, that was January 2024. She had already gone to RAPC in June of 2026. So the maps were already done.
You said 25 or 26 or 24?
I'm sorry. She went to RAPC in June of 2023. And she sent this to Cynthia and Gary in January of 2024.
So this is really all about moving her house back into the
That's all it's about. That is the only reason. That's the primary reason.
Okay.
And look, Gary and Cynthia had no input whatsoever. The maps was done. She's just sending it to them for review.
Damn.
Or less. I don't.
Sorry.
And then the following month in February, when they realized that, hey, how are we going to pay these people? That's when Jim Villard sent the letter to Rapides Area Planning Commission telling them to reopen the 2022 contract that the city council had with them and charge it to that. So that's another violation.
How do you settle that up if it's already been paid out?
Yes.
So did they do it for free?
No, they so some kind of way Jack Roy allowed the people to cut a check under that particular contract to RAPC. But the city council never voted on that at all. Never came before them.
I'm getting a good screenshot of him with his hands up like this. Yeah, this is gonna make a good a screenshot.
And so look, here's the other thing. All right, so the maps are already made up, right? And she admitted that. She's gone there and she already decided what they're gonna do. And she claims the demographics are identical. They're not, because when you move all those white folks out of District 3, the demographics are not identical. And what Jack Roy kept saying, we didn't change the black makeup of the district. And that's true. But that was never the issue. That was never the question. So, and look, she already got the map. I can send you the map for you to review, and we can chat about it if you like. They had no input. District 2 and District 3 had no input into losing 646 people or gaining 211 people. They had no say so, those two council members. This was all a one horse show, and that one horse was Elizabeth Felter.
I don't recall one. I think the answer is 0. That should tell you something. So the people screaming about it are people in the insider baseball game. They're the people that come and are asked to testify. Do your homework and go see, of the people that testified in the council hearings, not in the ones I put on, in theirs, how many of those people live in Alexandria first and live in the districts affected, live in one of, I think it's going to be 1 to 2 people, if that. If it's
and
3.
so what, that has nothing to do. That has nothing to do. See, that tells you that he has an issue with us taking up for our people. He has a big issue with us standing up and speaking out for our people. He doesn't like that. That he really, you know, that bothers him that we speak up for our people. And you know what? That's fine, because we're going to continue doing it like we've been doing it on this show. We're going to continue speaking up for our people, because we know you are a snake. Just like Miss Angie said, you are a snake.
And look, a lot of the people that spoke at the Felter public hearings, they did live in those districts. A lot of the people who spoke did. So
that's a lie too.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, you mean to tell me that this new map affected 3 different districts and nobody showed no, and you mean to tell me it affected over 1,000 people? And you're saying that you only heard 50 voices in emails that were brought to you?
Yeah, and then he even said only 2 or 3 people that lived in that district that protested it.
But that's impossible, because
I mean that was against what they did.
He's saying that the people that don't live in those districts shouldn't have had shit to say about it.
Basically, that's what he said. Exactly.
Well, wait a minute. Lizzie Felter doesn't live in District 3 or District 1, and she has something to say about it.
Because she was directly affected. That's why. She
could have
did.
been affected. She wasn't put in District 1. She wasn't speaking on behalf of the people of District 3.
She didn't care. It was about her. That's why people have to understand that. She was thinking about her. It wasn't about nobody else. And anybody who's listening to us right now, believe that this was not about her. This was about her. Period.
And her text message proves that.
Yep.
That's all it was about. That was
It was about her. And she knew she couldn't run next year. When it's time for her to come up to run again, she knew she couldn't run.
She knew she was going to get washed. She was going to get washed away.
Well, she wound up in District 3. She was going to be in District 3, so she wouldn't have been able to run for District 4 anyway.
She was going to have to run against Jim Ballard.
Yeah, if she would have went for that seat, yeah, she would have to be running against Councilman at Large, because that's the only one she could have ran for.
And as a reminder, District 3 isn't even up, because District 3 was last year.
Yeah, so exactly.
She wasn't able to run at all unless it was for unless it was for that large position.
Or she sit at home where she belongs. Okay.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're not misogynists.
She could sit at home where she belongs.
Okay, so let's see what they said. One person said, I don't like this council person. I want them off so we can get someone new. That's a ballot box issue, ladies and gentlemen.
Who said that?
A minute. Who said something like that? Nobody said nothing like that.
Nobody said that at either of the two meetings. Nobody.
Because you got to think about it. She's in District 4. None of our people can vote for District 4. Only person is Shamir. She's the only one who can vote for District 4.
Well, see, I think the rest of the problem is we don't want her on the council. Then he said it's a ballot. That's the ballot box issue.
But we still can't we don't have the power to vote her out.
The only people that would have said that are the people in their own district.
Yeah, it couldn't have been nobody else.
And gentlemen, that's not for a council to decide. An elected official coming and saying, I don't like another elected official on a different body than he serves on. He gets to say who should be in that district. That's the height of non-American democracy.
What is he talking about, Mr. Porter?
Oh, what the hell? Who's he talking about?
Unless he's talking about Jay Scott. I mean, who were the people that spoke? I mean, I spoke. I showed a presentation. Cornelius White spoke. They beat him up. Linda Bell spoke. Jules Green spoke. You spoke. I'm starting to forget all the people that spoke, but we had a lot of people that spoke.
Yeah, but nobody said we wanted him out of the. Who is he talking about? Because we can't move Lizzie Felter. We couldn't move her.
I don't know who he's talking about.
He has to be talking about Brother Jay Scott. He got it.
Because he said he elected official, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said elected.
Body. Yeah, he has talking about him.
Yeah.
That's the height of picking your candidates by legislative fiat. Another person just kept saying it's unfair and it's destroying our community, but that's an opinion. How? It doesn't do anything to destroy the community. Look, people may think and I thought a lot about this. Maybe there's a perception that protecting some of these things that the Voting Rights Act was designed to do. Remember, there's people on all sides, Stephen. There's other people who say there ought to not be any of that. Supreme Court's taking that up right now. There ought to be no look at race. It ought to not even be considered. But in past times, that would have been very hard on populations. I would just remind people that it's not a resource game as you're being told. It's about having a district that has the continuity and history of being together, like a garden district.
Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, he just said it. He just said it. He just said it.
He said it's not a resource game.
Uh-huh.
It is
yes.
So wait a minute. He's saying to keep the garden district together. Hello?
Go ahead.
He said to keep the garden district together.
Yep.
So if those maps would have went would some of the garden district left and go somewhere else, or what do he mean by that? Because I don't think you would have left the garden district. You would have still been in the garden district, no matter what.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Although you've been in District 3, you would still been in the garden district. And if you're across the street, and if you was across the street in District 4, you still in the garden district.
That's right.
So it seems like to me, y'all, this just my thing. They didn't stick water hoses on us. They didn't bite us with dogs. They didn't hit us with whips. They just whooped us with the pen.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
There's some dirty spades players.
Exactly what happened. Yeah. So they in other words, they got to stay together. And we people.
Yes.
And black folks, see, we don't have enough black folks to get together and see what's going on. Either they don't see or they don't give a damn about it. But basically what he said is, we're going to keep ours together. We don't give a damn about y'all.
Exactly.
See, they stick together. He said he did that for the garden district.
Yep.
He said, fuck the other side. We put on over here.
Yeah.
City Park, they have the same interests. The same roads are at issue. The same asset may be next to them, like City Park. That's their concern. That's what ties the community. I live in City Park. I live in the Garden District. The Davidson Porter plan would have split the Garden District at Chester. The Garden District doesn't want that. I know they don't want it all. Tell me another district that has more of an identifiable self than the Garden District. There's a few that might be even, but not any that are more.
What?
Identifiable self. Other words, this historically white district. We don't want to go there.
That's what he said. That's exactly what he said.
What he said.
That's exactly what he
said. What he said.
Guys, it's not about race, guys. Come on. It's not
about my God, he said it. He said it.
Now, mind y'all, you know this shit is over 20 weeks old. So this was 20 weeks ago. This was a long time ago. And we just now catching it. And I'm loving this. I'm loving this for Jock, because Jock, it's about time you got caught up in your own web of lies. It's about time.
Wow.
It's about time.
Okay, we catching it.
So they were really
catching it. But what about the people that stay there? What they gonna do about it though?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, see, now this is all just fodder, if you will, for why Jock Roy is campaigning as early and as hard as he is, because he knows he's up against his own lies. It's not about who he's going to be running against. He's up against his own record.
Yep. And you guys got to remember, he lives in District 4. So you got to think about it. You split all that up. That's votes too for him. Y'all don't get that, but that's votes for him too.
Yeah, he's definitely playing.
But it don't matter.
Well, yeah, it don't matter about that, but they're gonna vote for him either way because it's on the district, it's on a state, it's on a citywide. I get what you're saying. What you're saying, but don't believe that. That's not playing around in his head. Okay.
And shout out to all the black folks that showed up to his fundraiser. Y'all the real ones out here.
Yeah, what you say?
Yeah, shout out to all the black folks that showed up to that fundraiser.
Yeah, that he gave that $250 plate crawfish boil that they had.
And if you were stupid enough to pay $250 for some goddamn crawfish, then I got the bridge to Terabithia for you. And if you don't know about the bridge to Terabithia, it's 6th grade reading content.
Really feeling strong about this. That's what a veto is for. A veto doesn't mean you have an absolute control. It means you become an 8th vote only on certain issues. And this was one, and it was an easy one in that sense. We don't build West Alexandria from the mayor's office or the council. That's not what happens. When developers develop, Stephen, they go buy property and decide what level they want to spend, what level of house.
Stop. Why would you mention, wait, why would you mention 28 West?
Because he's telling you what's happening. they really are doing it the way he's saying that they're not doing it.
Wow.
But he say it's not built from the city council. Well, why they finna do a survey for some pumps then?
Yeah, because that was done from the city council, right?
That's done from the city council, and it's from 28 West.
Yep.
So what he mean it ain't done from the council? He sound like a fool.
Brother Greg says some people didn't pay. He gave a lot of those tickets away. It was for optics. Yeah, that's
most of them were city workers.
Really? He gave those tickets away?
He had to. You pour the gas to how you talking about buying
fundraiser.
Huh?
It was supposed to be a fundraiser. He gave the tickets away.
Most of them were city workers.
It was about optics for him. He knew that people were going to be watching from the outside, and he wanted to give the illusion that he had this groundswell of support. So, it's all about optics.
$250 worth of crawfish and gas $5 a gallon. No, I catch crawfish out my ditch.
That's right, out of my ditch. I got a couple ditches around my house. I get a crawfish out of there.
They do got open ditches in District 3 that you can go get crawfish out of. I mean, I'm not being funny.
You better be careful.
Yes, sir.
Wow. There's a big misconception in our community that the city is spending the money to develop homes and businesses in West Alexandria. That's not true. Those are individual capitalists, investors, and others. The irony is what we take from tax dollars that get created in sales tax is we spend it in disenfranchised areas and areas that have been underserved. Because
you're lying. You're lying. We already proved that you've been lying on that one.
How is that true? And you're not finna fix Cheatham Park, and you talking about waiting to 2030?
Yeah, exactly. He's lying.
No.
Oh my God.
And then look at Sister Perry was begging for $76,000 to help her with the lights.
Yep, sure was.
So, that ain't making sense.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let me run this back for you because I'm about to point out something that he said. He's trying to get out of it, right? So he's way in the weeds. He said a whole bunch of random shit. He's honest. He's trying to get done with the conversation because he's too far gone to even bring it back to the topic. But let me show you what he just said.
Individual capitalists, investors, and others. The irony is what we take from tax dollars that get created in sales tax is we spend it in disenfranchised areas and areas that have been underserved.
Okay, if you've been the goddamn mayor for the last 5 terms, how are these areas still underserved and disenfranchised if you didn't do this shit on purpose?
That's right. That's a good point.
And then Tavares, he's still trying to get them disenfranchised because of the utility incentives he give the people when they start doing stuff like this.
That's right. When they bring their businesses here. Yep.
So he's still helping them keep them. He's still helping keeping them underserved. Yeah. So
yep.
He shouldn't have said nothing. He should have just left the veto at what it was, and trying to explain it is what it was is that he knows that this decision may come back to bite him in the ass. That's why I decided to click on this today, and this is why we're down this rabbit hole, because this is going to come back to bite him in the hiney parts.
Because that's where the infrastructure needs tend to be. That's the grand irony of this. We're not doing that. We're spending the money where it's helped. We're not doing West Alexandria, as you see in some of these comments, that supposedly this veto is about. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. 60 cents of every capital dollar that this mayor had in his last set of terms, 60 cents of every dollar of capital dollars I spent in what would be the equivalent of District 26. That's a fact. And I can back it up project for project, pages. So there's my report card on what I do. There's my report card on the truth. People have to decide, do I want to go the next step and decide that truth requires facts, or do I want to believe someone's opinion because they're willing to post it on there?
Just tell us your.
Y'all, he said District 26.
What's
That's the state district. That's Ed's district.
Okay, where's District 26 at though? Think about it.
It covers Pineville. It covers all the black areas of Pineville and majority of the black areas in Alexandria.
So what are you talking about? District and this once again, downtown is included in District 26.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep.
Hey, that's District 26.
It is.
See, he can't say District 1, 2, and 3.
Nope.
So he'll say District 26, make it seem like it's a big area. You're lying. You know exactly what you're doing. You put that money down, and then you put that money downtown. That's where money went. Yeah, but he can't say that. He just said District 26.
So I wanted to read this part over here. This is the addendum, if you will.
Tavares, we can't see that. You need to move the comment or move it over.
Let him read. I ain't trying.
I know that's too much.
It's
too little.
Confusion about Gary Johnson being mentioned, but including him was my intent. I wasn't speaking to the qualifications of other candidates in Felter's race. Rather, I was referencing Mr. Johnson's comment about how the maps affected him in his own district as the basis for his vote, given that the Felter plan affected both the Perry and Johnson district. I pointed out neither current affected councilors ever ran on the Davis and Porter map, setting aside Spencer, who was only a candidate. Johnson made a comment on record about the voter confusion regarding a map that never existed for his race, as Johnson and Felter were elected on the old 2011 maps. Perry, however, ran on and won big against Shark under the Felter map. So the plan used so far is 1 for the Felter plan and a 0 for the Davis and Porter plan. This was very misunderstood by the public. I see why Sean noted this, and he is right. Mr. Spencer would have been out as well had he won, but that wasn't the point I was making. All facts, no voting rights issues, no charter violations, no unfairness in redistricting, really for either plan. However, it correctly pointed out, only the Davis and Porter plan cut out both qualified candidates in Davison's former district for their next race.
No. Let me tell you something. Every time we come down to holding a mirror to these people's face, they try to act like it's your fault.
Yeah.
When you tell folks that Johnny Downs is built on racism, they tell you so what? Well, here's the so what about it. The foundation of a house is the best thing about the house. If you don't have a good foundation and a good roof, the house is no good. So the foundation that they're laying for their people is still rooted in racism.
That's right.
It's still rooted in racism. We're trying to keep the Garden District together.
Who's that?
See, it's something about that Garden District that they actually want to keep that white pride. I'm saying this. It just seems like it's the Daughters of Confederacy just probably want to sit down and drink tea. Although you're across the street, you're still in the Garden District, dummy.
Yep. That don't make no sense.
It don't make no sense.
Hey, y'all remember
it's the press. Oh, hello?
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Yeah, but it's a prestige or something that they can't mess with the Garden District. But people have to understand, it's all about money at the end of the day. It's all about money. Because they don't want to spend money in our side of town. So they'll reshape the districts to make sure that our side of town don't get no money. Answer this question. Where all that money on 28 go?
Yeah.
See, it affects more than what they see. Because when you tax a business that's schooled in that area to get the taxes off of those businesses and stuff like that. Like they passed that tax for Pineville side and they got all that money.
Yep.
Well, now what's going to happen on 28? Who's going to get all that money now if they want to put a bond together and get that money right there? Menard? Ash?
Yeah.
See how they're going to? People ain't got no businesses over there.
Sure don't.
See, people don't understand how people don't understand. There's a big spectrum that this stuff covers.
Yep.
It's a big spectrum. They just can't look at it from this point. They got to look at it from the whole point of view. This is tax dollars, and pretty soon they're going to carve out Alexandria. You see that MacArthur, when you come off MacArthur from the Ocala Bridge, or whatever that bridge is, all that stuff back there behind AutoZone and all that, they're gonna leave that alone. They're gonna be the next skater land. Just sit back and watch. I'm sorry, Tavares. You can go on, sir.
City Council district maps were back in the spotlight last night. The council revisited redistricting after Mayor Jacques Roy vetoed their move to go back to the 2022 maps. The debate got heated, with council members and residents clashing over fairness, representation, and politics.
Residents once again packed council chambers, voicing frustration over the redistricting.
I wish the mayor would listen to the citizens.
Councilman Jules Green led the push to overturn Mayor Jacques Roy's veto. He says it's because the 2022 maps were unanimously approved by the council and had support of the residents.
It's simply going back to what the entire city agreed to.
Those 2022 maps were designed to evenly balance the city, with 9,055 residents in each of Alexandria's 5 council districts. But resident Shakala Jones says the 2024 redistricting ignored public input and crossed the line.
You did what you wanted to do for your own benefit. And I think this is some of the most prejudiced and racial things I have ever seen go on right here.
District 4 Councilwoman Lizzie Felter, who pushed for the 2024 maps, defended her actions, saying she was focused on improvement, not politics.
That's what I sought to do. There's a lot of chatter, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of comments that are not true.
Felter says her constituents prefer the 2024 maps over the 2022 maps.
They support these maps.
50 people did.
Support the mayor vetoing this. They are for it.
Rapides Parish Police Juror J. Scott said in a previous council meeting that he never sees Felter in the district they share as elected officials, and he made this promise to Felter in council chambers.
We're going to make sure that we put you out to sea. Make sure we get you out.
Felter then addressed her council, saying there's already been an election under the 2024 maps.
Everyone talks about supporting their districts. That's exactly what I'm doing here. Giving my district the opportunity for them to decide whether they're going to re-elect the incumbent or not. That should be their choice. An incumbent should not be written out of their district.
But District 2 Councilman Gary Johnson pushed back.
Did your homework and you talked to your people, but you didn't talk to my people because your home was moved out of your district, right? Am I right? So let's change the map. That's what I look at. That's something I would never have done.
Johnson says his main concern with Felter's redistricting effort in 2024 was that residents did not know who their representative was.
You were saying that you did what you had to do. Congratulations to you. But you didn't do it for all the people. You didn't do it for the people that I know. Because a lot of them looking at me sideways, not saying, I don't see you in my community because I'm not your representative.
In October, Council President Cynthia Perry introduced the ordinance to revert to the 2022 maps, saying she was responding directly to public concerns.
I didn't do it for division among my colleagues. I didn't do it to please the mayor. I did it because the citizens had spoke at the previous meeting saying what they wanted. And so all I did was revisit it to give the citizens what they wanted.
When Green's motion to override the mayor's veto went to a vote, it failed to gain the needed 2/3 majority. Councilman Larvadane, Green, Johnson, and Perry voted yes. Villard, Fowler, and Felter voted no. The result? The 2024 maps remain in place.
This should show you who has the last say, no matter what item on the agenda is voted upon.
Councilman Malcolm Larvadane says his main concern is the decline in Alexandria's population. According to census data, Alexandria saw a decline between 2022 and 2024. Projection data shows the population will continue to decline by 2030.
In 4 more years, we could easily have the same situation where the lines need to go one place and politics are going to play it going another place. So as a council, as a city, we need to make some serious decisions when we come together for the betterment of the citizens.
Perry addressed the city administration and Mayor Roy, who was not in the room during the council's discussion on redistricting. He did show up about 40 minutes after the meeting started.
When we ask for things, we would like them done in a timely manner. We would like to get a response when we email or we call or we text. Just respond if it's no more than say, I'll get back with you.
She ended with a pointed message, quoting scripture directed at the mayor.
As for a person who stir up division after warning him once and then twice, have nothing more to do with him. Knowing that such person will call them out. Amen. You better preach. I'm done.
You ain't said shit.
I understand. What did that mean?
After the meeting, he says he has no comment on last night's discussion and stands by his veto message. You can read that full statement right
now. Mind you, he said he didn't have anything else to say, and then went on to do a 20-minute.
Yeah. What nobody.
Let me tell you something. If somebody wronged me, I'm not gonna throw no broad statement, no blanketed statement. Playboy, you wrong. Mayor, you wrong. I don't, because if you throw a broad statement, they might think you're talking about Lizzie Felton.
Yeah.
I think it's all a show now. I'm gonna say this, and I ain't really gonna mean it, but I'm gonna say it.
What I tell you.
You see what I'm saying? Because guess what? He done the same thing to your crazy ass when it came down to Cheatham Park. And what you said? Yeah, we talking about Cheatham Park. We talking. And how you gonna? You can't. Let me tell you something, Mr. McCall. When they go this Bible stuff, God say, "Come as bold as a lion." That meek and humble stuff is out the door when you're doing the people wrong. If he doing the people wrong, you don't go to him meek and humble. Well, you wrong.
Yep.
You wrong. And this, the Bible says it. And guess what? And the man must got some on it. The man must got some on it. He got to have some on it. Because come to Cheatham Park, and they'll approve that budget, and they talking about fixing Cheatham Park in 2030, and she said, yes, we're going to go along with it. The man got some on it. He got a dirty pitch on him. He got something on him. And that's all it is to it. He got something on it, and she's scared to just buck the system because it's something that she don't want to come out. And I'm gonna say it just like that. It's something that listen what she's saying. If somebody wronged you, you don't. No, the man got something. I'm sorry, Tavares. Go on. I'm sorry. You got something on it.
No, you ain't gotta apologize.
I got one more thing. One more thing. We're gonna go old school Republican, old school Jack Roy.
That's one of the problems, is that when you veto this, it's amendment and all. And so we have to be very careful about that. We want a win-win, as Mr. Lawson has said on numerous occasions. We want you to have the options of both. The only problem with the legislation in its current form is that if it is left as it is, it ends any notion of commercial.
The young people have jobs and everything. It will progress the community, so let's stick with the commercial aspect. Thank you.
Mr. Reverend Larry Turner.
Remember the Honda Stockyard debacle?
Yeah.
That's what this is about. This is everybody. Remember, y'all were supposed to get a shopping center down there. And Jock's Spark program conflicted with that. Because the Spark program didn't Hold on. Let's see what Larry Turner had to say.
If you will.
Good evening. I'm Reverend Larry Turner. I have a church in the Woodside area, and I do want to say this, that Councilman Goins and we met together, and we were advised to at times you can disagree, but not separate. And it's okay to disagree, and we don't want to make the mistakes that have been made in the past where we disagree and then separate. It's okay to disagree. I want to say this, that I worked for a major company before, and a lot of times you can't make those companies come in, those major companies come in, but you can do what it takes to entice them to come in. One of the things that you find major company does before they come in, they do their research. They make sure that they're coming into an area that is secure, an area that has so many houses, or because that company, that major company, has to make so much money per day from that particular store. So this might be the first phase of something that you might have to do to entice those companies to come in. Now, will it work? I don't know, but we have an opportunity to get both here, what we're hearing, to get housing and commercial. And this is an opportunity that I don't think that we should miss. So I think that we could look at it in its totality, that this might be the first thing that you might have to do. I would like for the council to take some time, maybe get some major company researchers to come down here and say to the city or say to the community, this is what we do. This is what we're looking for before we bring a CVS or a Walgreens or a Brookshire's or something like that down here. Thank you.
Amazon did it. Amazon did it. Well, that's years later. Amazon said not no, but hell no.
Commercial should not be turned down.
I'm just saying.
I think Mr. Larverdane and then Mr. Silver. Okay. And then Reverend, if you don't mind, Reverend Turner.
Look at Fowler.
You want to go
Look
before
at
Reverend Turner?
Fowler.
I'm sorry, Mr. Goins was next. Councilman Goins.
Yeah, but Larry Turner worked for UCOR in the penitentiary.
What man? Say. Wait.
Larry Turner,
What?
he worked for you. He worked for UCOR in the penitentiary.
Who did?
Yeah, Larry Turner. When he said work for a big company, that was UCOR.
Man, you can't say that. It is a big company, though.
Oh yeah, that's where you go.
This is another tough decision. I wish the group on Jackson Street would be willing to go down Lower 3rd and make it all happen. That would really help because we need things down Lower 3rd. I'm concerned about the people in the area they have a strong desire for the administration to make every effort to make it commercial, because from the meetings I've attended, their concern is that if it turns residential, it may not turn commercial again. And so I want to make sure that the people understand that this is a tough issue for us all, because we want to make sure that we use the best use for it, because we have to make instances where we can create jobs and do something in the community, because it's a beautiful tract of land. Now, I'm concerned about the administration wanting one thing and the people in the neighborhood wanting something else. And I'm also concerned with, like another gentleman said, that people who don't live in the neighborhood are trying to tell people who do live in the neighborhood what to do with their property. And that's unacceptable. We need to make sure that the people around the stockyard have the most input, because they're the ones who are influenced by it. Just because you live across town, I don't think you have the merit to say, okay, I want this, that, and that, but you don't live there. And I want this council to be cognizant that we have to listen to the people. Just like they said, they're going to vote us in, they're going to vote us out. We be here today, we out tomorrow. We have to do the will of the people, and we have to make the judgment call, because we all definitely want the administration to make some inroad on commercial activity. I'm also asking the mayor, along with the chief of staff, do whatever you can to bring commercial activity to that area. We may have to revisit that down the road, but find a way to bring commercial activity that can create jobs and get our young folks off the streets.
And they
I
never
think
did.
Once folks have a job, you can see an improvement with crime, with litter. I think you can make an impact on the community because we want to. But this is a tough issue, and we're listening. We're going to do what the people want. Thank you, Mr. President.
Damn.
But see, that
We're
was
gonna hurry up and vote.
Let me see if you recognize this. Nah, man, I don't have the right name. So I'm sorry. I don't.
that's Kay Miguel right there.
Yeah, but this is Rhonda Reed.
Oh, that's Rhonda Reed.
You know what? It's usually the ones that look like that be the most racist ones. Look like somebody Porter in that bitch.
What in the hell?
Let me tell you about this council makeup right here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black councilmen on that board. And I guarantee you 3 of them were sellouts.
Yeah, because you got, you got to think about it. You got coconuts, don't you, Mars?
Yeah.
They full of that white cream on the inside.
Yeah, like a Swiss roll.
And look, 2 of them now work for Jack Roy.
Yep.
No, come on.
Former council members work for Jack Roy right now.
Yep.
Yeah, one of them council members said that it was a tale of 2 cities. Yeah, didn't that council member say it was a tale of 2 cities?
This guy.
Yeah, so I wonder, do he still feel like that?
He's not allowed to feel like that. He's not allowed to feel like that.
He heard all the laughter, he had to come back.
All right, Miss Correa.
I'm going to try to run through this really quickly and try to beat the 3-minute clock.
All right.
But last night, I got an email at 10 o'clock along with a lot of other people who don't live in this neighborhood, and I can't figure out why I got this email, because the first rule of community and economic development is you pay attention to the neighborhood and what the neighborhood wants. So I pulled together some information for you. I've marked some pages that I think you need to pay attention to now. You can read the rest of it later. But you need this information before you make an informed vote on this issue. You've heard from the neighborhood. The first thing that I've marked is some information on poverty in that area. And I'm looking at the half-mile radius of the stockyard. 19% of that immediate half-mile radius are below the poverty level. 80% are at or above the poverty level. We shouldn't want that for any neighborhood in our city. The next tab I marked is when you look at renter-occupied units, 90% are paying their rent with cash. Now, I don't know if this is because they don't trust banks.
How would she even know that?
I don't know. I don't know why that would even.
Why would I gonna get my money out the bank to pay bills? That's usually what I do.
That's right. I can do. That's my choice. That's my choice.
What?
To pay my rent with a money order or the cash.
Let's find
So
out what
what?
Yeah.
Let's find out what she's on about.
If it's because the landlords won't take checks, if they want money orders, or what. But I saw practically the entire leadership of Red River Bank copied on the email that I received at 10 o'clock at night. So that was one reason I marked that statistic. The next tab that I marked is over on your demographic and income profile. And I've marked it because I also want you to look at the net worth when you're comparing this.
Stand there, go ahead.
Stand there.
Go ahead.
You'll see that 43%
Oh, wait. Did she
households-
get an extension?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she got an extension. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay.
2009 city council. You can't do that.
Okay.
by income are under $15,000. And when you look at net worth, 58% have a net worth of under $15,000. Every penny these people make is the same as what their net worth is.
So she went and looked up the net worth of individual citizens in District 3.
Mm-hmm.
No,
these niggas ain't worth but about $15,000 apiece.
Yep. Yep.
Mars, you see what that lady just did? She didn't say the citizens. She could have just said the citizens over there just no income. She made sure to say these niggas ain't worth nothing. We can do what we want to do with this.
That's right.
It's a dog whistle sometimes.
There you go.
It's a dog whistle.
Yeah.
You see, that dog whistle is loud sometimes, Tamar.
Yeah.
If you're paying attention to it.
If you're paying attention to it.
If you're paying attention to it.
You have 17% from 15 to 25, 25 to 35,000, 13%, 35,000 to 50,000, 14% of the neighborhood are earning those per household. When you get over to net worth, you've got 15,000 to 35,000 in net worth, 10%. The numbers are in single digits as you go up. I guess the good news is 2 people are actually worth more than $1 million in that neighborhood.
You fucking mother. You know what that is?
Who?
Probably the coach and Myron Lawson dad.
Oh, okay. Ain't that some shit? He said,
but y'all, but see,
this is a good news. 2 of them. Oh my God.
2 of these niggas is worth something. The rest of these niggas ain't worth shit.
But that ain't actually true, because when you do the net worth of people, do you count the insurance that they got on themselves in case they die?
No, that's not part of that. Not in net worth. No, because they don't know that. They don't know that.
I don't even know how she's got access to people's assets.
But those are numbers.
See, Ms. McCall, think about it. Well, Ms. McCall, think about it. Some of those people might be worth more dead than they are alive. But I mean, so the assets.
It don't have nothing to do with insurance and all that.
You know, she knows people's worth, how much they're worth dead. She knows. How did she get this information?
Because of who she is.
Yeah.
Just because of who she is.
I think she's making it up. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, you can say that. You can say that all you want.
I know, Ms. McCall, let me tell you something. That lady lying.
Yeah.
It had a street over there that had millionaires over there. Now, I ain't gonna say it was legal, but it had a street over there that made $1 million.
They're not okay, they're not talking about them. They're not talking about them. I'm just letting you know.
When you look at household budget expenditures, 30% of their budget is going towards their sheltering needs, with 20% paying their rent or their mortgage, and 8% paying their utilities. 15% towards transportation, and 12% for food. That doesn't leave much disposable income left over for everything else.
Hey, can I cuss?
What? This lady ain't making no sense. Because Mr. Dawson, that driver. Oh, go on. Mr. Dawson, that driver 18-wheeler that live right across the street from Caden Village. He been driving trucks all his life, and he owned his truck all his life. Do you know how much money that man worth?
But he said, okay, but you're saying she said 2. So what do you saying? What's the point?
It's more than 2. Remember that neighborhood right there, as soon as you turn that hump, as soon as you cross over that hump in Peabody, and you go to the left?
Yeah,
on Jones Street.
Neighborhood over there. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
All those people over there have money.
Beyond that church. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. All those people got money over there.
But you're saying she's saying lower third. She's saying I think she's talking about down by the Hodges stockyard, not what you're talking about.
Oh, she said within a half a mile.
Yeah, she talking about
7.5
the.
mile.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a half
telling
a mile.
you,
That's half a mile to Peabody from right there.
no, I
That's
don't
a half
think
a
it's
mile.
Peabody. I don't think that's where she. I think she's talking about down lower third. That's what I think.
No,
Down
Mr. Paul,
Broadway.
she said the hardest stockyard.
Of the Hodges Stockyard.
Okay.
So if you go behind the stock, if you think about it now, Miss Agnes lived behind the Hodges Stockyard. If you not behind it, but right on side of it, right?
Gotcha.
Down the street a little bit. Okay.
Gotcha.
And all you gotta do is turn by Jones Street. You turn, make that left, and make that right on Jones Street, and you right there in that neighborhood. And then if you go down a little further across the street from Acadia Village, they got some houses over there, Mr. McCall. Them people ain't poor, Mr. McCall. So I don't know where she getting her numbers from. Now, you know what she did do? She probably went down on third.
That's what I'm talking about. I think that's where I'm thinking where she went was down lower third, down Broadway. That's what I think she did.
Percent is healthcare.
On bowl game and stuff. Applewhite. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Now, we want to talk about attracting retail and commercial to that area. If you look at the last thing that I marked, this is a retail marketplace profile. It's called a leakage report. Everything in green is something that doesn't exist there. And it indicates what that half-mile radius spends their money on, how much they spend their money on, and what the leakage surplus is. Almost every leakage surplus is at 100%. They're going out of the neighborhood for those services. The only one that's not is healthcare and personal stores. Now, what's amazing is grocery stores, specialty food are not considered leakage. They actually show that people shop in that neighborhood because there's 2 stores that offer those type items. I think we all know that that's a misnomer.
That shit was rotten.
Huh?
That was rotten. What they call as grocery stores?
I told you, remember I told you about
They call Joe's and Food Mart.
Joe's and Food Mart was the 2 stores that he put on that report. Remember I told you I told y'all about the report he did. And there was a reason why they wasn't bringing another grocery store down there, because they had he considered Joe's and that other store as a supermarket.
Equitable food store.
Sure did. He sure did on that survey. When he had that survey done.
Yeah,
I had to pay for it.
Inundate the area with too much fresh fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God! And these Negroes still fighting for stuff like that, and they ain't got
They
mad
also
enough.
show one gasoline store there. So there's one service station there. There's a lot of potential in this neighborhood. We need to go through the demographics. We need to specifically target, but it's going to take some incentives from you guys. Myron, you and I have talked about some things they've done in St. Louis to target commercial. We seriously need to consider those things. It's not going to be as easy as the corner of Jackson and Maureen to get somebody to come throw a restaurant on the corner.
We know because it's a black neighborhood. We get that. We know what you're trying to say. You undercoverly saying, Miss, I wish we had a St. George. Yeah.
She did say that. That's the only reason to go around the hero.
Yeah.
She said maybe.
She's no hero. She's no hero.
I got to remember. Let me remember what it was about. What it was about was Johnny Downs.
Yep.
No. What it was about was the renters registry.
The renters registry. That's where she said that at. Yep.
Yeah. So I tried to implement, me, Nat, everybody that's on our team. We were working hard to implement something on the on the city level that the state had already adopted, which was the renters registry. The renters registry was a registry of all of the rental properties and their owners. Do you know that the real estate the real estate establishment, which is that lady right there, had a meeting where they said that they would rather separate from the city than to be on a renter registry.
Yep. And they said if it was initiated, hold up, let me finish with that. If they would have voted on it and initiated, they was gonna punish the renters and go up on their rent. We
They were
heard
gonna-
that from our own ears.
Yep. Yep.
Sure did.
We had somebody, she called a big meeting with all the real estate people. And it just so happened at that time we had somebody that was cooperating with us that was in real estate, and she was in that meeting.
Yep.
She recorded the meeting. We heard
Yep.
the meeting.
Yep. Sure did. They said they would
But
go
it's
up
gonna
on the
be-
rent.
They would, yes.
A challenge. You guys need to make an informed decision. When you look at housing, home ownership versus renter is equal, 50-50. It's actually 42.8 to whatever the remainder
Grandfather
is.
always used to say, as I close, so we did that.
Yeah, as I close. You guys know that as the number of renters increase in a neighborhood, there are other bad statistics that go with that. The chief was not
Oh,
here,
Lord.
he would tell you that.
This is very.
You need to find a way to increase.
And this nigga Roosevelt talking about this is very, very, this is good. I like this.
Home ownership.
Well, hold on.
In that
Hold on. Mr. Porter's, so they saying that if you own a home, crime will go down.
Yep. That's what
Right.
she just said. That's what she just said.
Okay, so Mr. Porter tried to implement a plan for people to buy houses, and it ain't a good idea. You got to be kidding. See, you see how they leave themselves open?
Yeah.
What I like is the fact that they play politics with our lives. They're it's just politics to them. They don't care about the actual repercussions of their actions. It's just politics to them. And that's what this show is about. That's what this show is about.
Well, we know they listening. Wendy, if you're listening, baby, you get Jock Roy or something that make sure you're all right. So,
neighborhood. Apartments don't do it.
Thank you for that information.
Apartments don't do it. Apartments don't do it, but we don't want affordable houses that people could buy.
Yeah.
No, apartments won't do it because then we'd be on the hook for keeping them up. And because
Yeah.
we're real estate.
Yeah.
Mr. Larvin, and we're gonna hear from the council.
Hold on. I gotta see this last one. I'm gonna do this last one. Who do y'all want to hear from? We got Emil Hertz, we got JG Gorey, Michael Caffrey. Oh, Michael Caffrey, what?
Thank you, Mr. Goree. Next, we have up Mr. Michael Caffrey.
Good evening to the distinguished gentlemen of this council. My name is Michael Caffrey, 3726 Copper Street. All of you have already heard the arguments relative to this particular matter presented by members of the community and myself distinctly. What I want to touch on today as I stand before you and looking at this particular issue is the fact that we're talking about two things here. We're talking about commercial designation, and we're talking about the multifamily housing designation for that particular site. The veto was to veto the commercial piece of the particular property. And the concern is at this point, it puts us right back at our starting point. The zoning would then be relatively the same that we would have before, which also would in essence put a halt to the particular project that the mayor has been talking about in recent days in the media. We'd like to see progress happen. We want progress to take place in our community, and we feel that the development of this site is going to be an integral part in that particular story. I'm open and willing to sitting down with the administration and the mayor and talking about this as our other community persons to doing so. But also we want to make sure that our voices are heard when we sit at the table. It has been said countless times that, you know, the community has not said anything. I think I saw a snippet on the news that the mayor said no one had called him relative to this issue. But he has not stood and addressed the community relative to their concerns on this particular matter. I've heard Ms. McGill's, I've heard Ms. Lawson, but I have not heard the mayor in any of our community meetings relative to this point, or even before this council.
Wait, y'all. Wait a minute.
They used to be ops.
What?
They used to, Michael Caffrey and Jonathan Goins used to be ops. They used to be on the same team against John. And now they're on Jock's team. Ta-da!
Interesting. I remember when Caffrey started showing up. I
Now,
remember.
mind you, y'all, this is 2009.
9. Yeah. Yeah.
Not even 2010.
That's 17 years ago.
9.
What? That's 9 years ago.
No, I said this is 2009.
I know. I said that's 17 years ago.
They used to be ops.
Relative to this point, what are the concerns? How do we go forward from this in this matter? Is where we are right now. We want to see things happen, but we want to know that there's a willingness to make things happen, and we want to make sure that that willingness is also based on the desire of the people. This government, this administration, is a government that should be for the people, by the people, and we want to make sure that happens. When we look at that community, it is surrounded by single-family housing, both with the new Riverbend subdivision, also with the existing houses in that community. The multifamily piece is good. It could be in another location. I think that the main understanding that we need to have is that the community is seeking to have the commercial designation for that piece. The administration has not presented an economic plan for the property to the community. They presented a housing plan, one that's almost complete, pending the council's approval, I assume, but they have not presented a plan that talks about the commercial piece of the property. They want to put the MFO on the back piece, but what about the front half? We've seen nothing in any presentation that's been done relative to that. It's been housing, 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 and the community wants to see something relative to getting a commercial. They said we can, we're trying, we may, and we understand that there are certain things that you can't make other persons do. You can't make developers come, but we'd like to see something happen relative to that. Thank you.
Okay, enough. Okay, that's good.
You need to find a way to increase home ownership in that neighborhood. Apartments don't do it.
Thank you for the information.
Oh, she get a clap.
So she was all for home ownership back then.
Yeah.
Everybody was for it. They got a standing ovation damn near.
Mr. Larvadane, and we're gonna hear from the council, then we're gonna vote it up, down, one way or the other. We're gonna go home and let everybody spend some time with their families.
Okay, okay. We don't have to see the end part. We already know.
And for example, someone mentioned the fact that these people who are for this are not here. There are approximately 4,000 people in District 3. Generally speaking, 95% of the people don't participate in these things. And the question said, we got to listen to what the people want. Generally speaking, you people vote for your respective councilmen.
Did he pull out the you people?
Yes, I heard that.
Who are supposed most of the time,
4,000 votes.
4,000 registered voters is what I'm talking about. Most of you people really have us.
He just outright.
No, he doubled down on it. He doubled down on it.
Yeah. He outright be disrespectful.
Here for one reason. We're supposed to listen and then be governed by what's happening. Now, the mayor outlined the study that indicated what was required. With that in mind, I'd like to do something, and even sometimes we make a mistake, do something instead of just rhetoric. We've been talking and talking. I would suggest that either we vote the veto or not, or forget about it, and do what has been outlined by both the mayor and his assistant, whereby we would have an ordinance that would incorporate the 7/10 of an acre that would round that out, and number 2, change the zoning so they can proceed with it and get this thing wrapped up. If we do this, then we will have another proof positive of what's happening. You have 4,000 registered voters in that area, and yet you take approximately 30% of the monies. So we've got to get the things spent. I'm a great believer in, number one, communication. What you heard tonight from the mayor perhaps should have been disseminated earlier, but at least we know it. I don't know how many are going to catch it on the program, but if you just give us a chance, I think this thing will work. And I ask that we can adopt these 2 paragraphs and check these ordinances. And if we can do that, I think it will work. And I would recommend we do just that.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Lauderdale.
Thank you. I want to thank Ms. Correll for these numbers, and they're pretty accurate because in that area, people need jobs, money's tight, a lot of children. I would love to find a way to improve the income and to improve the status of the neighborhood. From what I'm hearing, the people in the community just want commercial aspects. And I would want the administration to do whatever it can to make it commercial. Now, for some reason, we can't do commercial, then we may have to come back and revisit it. But at least want us to say, hey, we've done everything we can to make it commercial. If that's a restaurant, a drugstore, or whatever, coming back, we can't do it because of this. I want the administration to go out there and say, hey, bring us something commercial. If we can't get it, then we may have to revisit it. But please at least make a good faith effort to do it. Just coming here telling us, well, they're not going to go with this because we have a housing component. No, if they want to put houses, they can put houses all over the city. They can put houses on Coliseum Boulevard.
And they didn't do it.
Something else somewhere.
And they did.
They did. The guy came back and told.
They didn't do housing. They built it out for people, for homeowners.
Now, no. What he said is exactly what happened. This is what the guy said. He said he wanted to build more apartments, the one who was doing the developing. And the citizen said, no, we want commercial. Well, the guy packed up, got his money, and packed up and left. And there's no commercial to this day. If you look on Hodges Stockyard, not a thing on there. Not one thing on there. They never try to go back and fix that.
We want to make sure that area is commercial because if we squander it, we may not have an opportunity to have a large plot of land in that area. As I said earlier, crime is a problem. The administration is doing their best to put a safety component with the sheriff's office.
17 years later, it's
the
still
police.
empty.
But understand, we're going to have to find a way to bring commercial because the people need jobs. People need jobs where they can walk to. And it's important. And once we bring money into the community, you're going to see an increase. You're going to see a decrease in crime. And you're going to see
Fowler over this shit. Y'all see Fowler?
Yeah.
Fowler over this shit.
a better attitude about the neighborhood. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Goins, and I'm gonna comment and we're gonna vote this one way or the other.
I was just gonna ask for the question, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and I'm gonna close with this. I too grew up 3rd Street. I have a business close proximity. I go to church. I love that area so much. I attended elementary school, junior high school, and high school there. I love it so much. My son attended school in that area. So I feel that I certainly have the pulse of the community. I'm concerned that those 100 folks, Mr. Goree, didn't show up. I'd like to hear from them. And what I want to do is commend, first of all, the citizens. I think this was handled very professionally. And I think folk were very, very strong on their beliefs, whatever it may have been, but you expressed it very professionally. I want to commend my colleagues, administration, because we're hearing a lot. And I think this is the way government should work. I want to say all that to say this. When in doubt, I have always, and I don't have much doubt here, quite frankly, I've always leaned, as I did earlier, with the district councilman. It's been a standard practice up here since I've been on this council and since I've been on the police jury prior to this time. When in doubt, the district councilman ultimately is held responsible. Then you look to that large councilman for these decisions that we're making. This district councilman, unless he changed through the deliberations that we just had, is vehemently opposed to residential at this time. I'm going to disagree. I think we need residential, but not here at this time. I think the focus ought to be so lean towards commercial. We need to give the impression that based on what we run on time and time again, that we were committed to do commercial. Because I don't want to run again and say, look, we're going to work on it. I want to say we've done it. It's time to say we've done it. And I'm going to lean, as I did earlier, for Mr. Fowler. I feel a lot strong about this, but as I leaned earlier with the district councilman, I'm going to lean again with this district councilman who was recently elected.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. That question has been called.
What was all that about?
Favor roll call.
He was saying that when in doubt, if he doesn't have the exact answer, he's going to go with the council person for that district and go with what they say. And that's a good policy. But let's see how it goes.
Mr. Goins,
Yes.
Mr. Silver,
No.
Mr. Hobbs,
No.
Mr. Lawson,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
No.
There you go.
Mr. Fowler,
No.
Mr. Larvadang.
Yes.
There's a sellout.
Veto has been overturned, supported, I should say. Okay, item H, committees.
Yeah,
There was the sellouts.
there it goes. So when Roosevelt shows up again, oops, sorry. Yeah, so there's your answer, folks. Don't be swayed. You know, the fact that Caffrey and Goins
Both are now, and Miguel.
both are now his yes men.
Miguel ran against him, and then she's still on
Miguel's
his
ran
side.
against him.
Yep.
And now she's his goddamn mayor's assistant.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how politics work in a little small town.
That damn Hobbs, boy. I got some stories about him. But yeah, shit. You know what? We're gonna wrap this up. That's enough for tonight.
Hey, why was
Yeah.
Harry Silver up there looking like the KFC man though?
That's how he always dressed. That's how
This chicken's good.
that's how he always dressed.
This chicken's good. I'm gonna put this back up one more time.
He
That's
said,
what they did to y'all.
Yep.
That's what Jock them did to y'all.
Yep.
He gerrymandered y'all, then he gaslit y'all, and now we're here.
Yep. And Hodges Stockyard is still blank.
And Hodges Stockyard is still blank.
And Mr. Fuller tried to revive the Hodges Stockyard himself. He tried to do the same thing with it again when he came on board. So when we
Jock,
talk
you're watching, I know you're watching, Jock. I know you're watching from Wendy's phone. But listen, we got you. We caught you lying. We always catch you lying. And so I hope you know that all this will be brought back up during your campaign season. So you're going to need a lot more than crawfish to beat this one. Because you did that. You and Lizzie Felter, Jerry, and you did that. And that's why you're so careful to work around that phrasing, that word, gerrymander, because that's exactly what you did. But in the long and short of it, we did our work for the evening. We will be back Wednesday night. And congratulations to y'all for finding out the truth on your own.
Yeah.
Thank you to Mr. Porter, even though he's not feeling well. He's participated, and we appreciate him dearly for that. Thank you to all the people that commented. Thank you to all the people that watched. Thank you to all the people that still watching. And just know that when we come back, there's going to be another heater because I'm going to find some more dirt. I want to find other things that Jock Roy's vetoed, and we're going to go down that rabbit hole too.
Now, y'all got to remember, wait a minute before you go. He got elected in 2006. This right here was his second term, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was his first term.
First term. Okay, I'm sorry. First term. So 2000. Yeah, that was his first term, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was. No, I thought he was. Wait a minute, Tavares. No, I think Jock came in 2006.
Yeah. So this is 2009.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. It is. That's right. It's 4 years. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got you. You're right. This was his first term.
Yeah. Buddy. But we'll be back with more. So stay tuned. Stay locked in. We are. And just remember, Jock, you did this. What?
You be quiet for a second. Thank you, Miss Jackson. Thank you, Miss Battles. Thank you, Mr. Turner. Thank you, Miss Berard. Thank you, Mr. Scott. Thank you, Miss Colson. Let's see what else do we have up here. Thank you, Neen Skin 84. Thank you. That's you. Thank you, Miss Thomas. Thank you, Miss Hall. Thank you so much. Yeah. So yeah, you got it. There you go. You guys have a great night. And thank you, Miss Chisholm. I didn't see you in there. I'm sorry. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Good night. You can go ahead and close it out.